staying 27-13. The Bobcats of Star Spencer invade Douglas tonight. Third quarter tied at 7. Douglas opening drive of the half. Chris Friday gets the handoff and goes down the left side untouched for the apparent go-ahead touchdown. Yep, I said apparent. There are flags on the play. No touchdown. Douglas coaches pleading to the referees, but to no avail. The drive goes down to a 4th and 2, and the Bobcat D does what it does best, shutting the door. Last check of this ball game, we're all tied at 7.
Douglas and Star Spencer, 5A power in Douglas against the 4A powerhouse in Star Spencer. Fourth quarter here, Star Spencer on their own 25. LaMarcus Wilson coughs it up, and Kevin Hudson of Douglas picks it up and goes in for the touchdown, and Douglas won it tonight 20-7. The Trojans defeating the Bobcats. Other scores, Shawnee over Guthrie 10-7.
Side of the Metro, it's Douglas and Star Spencer. The Trojans on their home field at Moses F. Miller Stadium. Douglas quarterback Kevin Hudson shaking tackles. Goes around that left end for a gain of 25 yards. This time Hudson handed it off to Chris Friday. He's into the end zone. Douglas leads by a count of 14-7 early on in the third quarter. Here's Star Spencer quarterback Quantez Ware. He drops the football on the ground, and look who's there to get it. It's none other than Kevin Hudson. He's going in for the defensive touchdown, and Douglas rolls over Star Spencer by
1. That's right, the Soul Bowl today out at the home of the Falcons. No score into the first quarter. Douglas on the board first. Trojans, David Brown double pumps, then goes long to John Darby. 24 yards for the score, 6 love in favor of Douglas. Hey, look, I'm crazy Cuphead man. I'm crazy.
Ball, it was the Soul Bowl between Douglas and Millwood at Millwood. First quarter, David Brown finds John Darby open for the touchdown, and Douglas led 6-0 after the extra point was missed. Second quarter, and Millwood answered. Donovan Woods.
The big boys are on top. Jinx in 6A, Clinton in 4A, but not in 5A. Last Friday night, Douglas knocked off Carl Albert 21-0 to take over the #1 ranking in the state. Coach, are you excited to be numero uno?
Depends on how you look at it. I'm sure the kids are. Personally, I'd rather be lurking somewhere around 2 or 3, just kind of have folks underestimate us. But when you're #1, you know folks get all geared up and they come after you.
We got our feet back on the ground, but what our main thing focus is not getting too big-headed about that win over Carl Albert. Everybody's proud that we beat Carl Albert, you know, but basically, like I said, it's just trying to keep kids stay calm and not get the big head about this game.
Well, from 6A, we stepped down to 5A, and so far the Douglas Trojans, well, they've been dominating. Coach White and the gang undefeated, ranked #1 tonight, opening what they hope will be a title run with the Demons of Duncan. To Moses Miller Stadium, first quarter, no score, not for long. David Brown, the handoff to Brandon Hill, and Hill does the rest. 15 yards in for the score, 7-0 Trojans, and the band played on. Still in the first, David Brown again. This guy's got skills. The little man weaving through traffic. The quarterback keeper good for 73 yards. 14-0 Douglas. Last we checked, 57-zip Douglas in the fourth. Class 4.
Kuna on the catch. Ringling gets in the end zone there. Tyler Pivas for the touchdown. They are getting down at Douglas tonight. Ringling wins that over Washington 30-20. The Demons having a hard time feeling the kickoff. Ouch. Douglas picks that up. That's a touchdown, ladies and gentlemen. Gary Joyner. That made it 34-0. We have more Douglas highlights for you. Brandon Hill, 33 yards, untouched. 41-0 at that point. If you haven't had enough Douglas, you've got more Douglas. Hill, 9 yards, another touchdown. Douglas 54. Duncan.
Stanford White's Douglas team is perfect on the season and top ranked in Class 5A. The Trojans were trouble all night for Duncan as they dumped the Demons 54-0. Dane Shea Ivan, Oklahoma's News Channel 4 Sport.
And in a Class 2A battle.
It pits Douglas against Carl Albert at Jim Harris Field in Midwest City, and Douglas off to a good start. It's David Brown, their quarterback, hits James Cooper in the end zone, and the Trojans are on top by a score of 7-0 in the first half. More Douglas here. Just into the second quarter, option play, David Brown pitches to Chris Friday, and he is going right down the sideline and headed into the end zone, and Douglas at this point stunning Carl Albert 14-0. Here's Andre Daniels, had a great season so far for the Titans, and this one's picked off by Brandon Hill, and Douglas would score another touchdown. They shock Carl Albert tonight 21-0. I'm not quite sure.
Good Saturday morning, everyone. We start you off with high school football, and the Ford game of the week takes us north of the Metro, a battle of two top 10 teams in 5A. Fifth-ranked Douglas Trojans visiting #8 Guthrie. The The Blue Jays fresh off a win over a ranked 4A opponent in Weatherford. Let's go to the stone wall, shall we? Coach Stanford White rallying his troops, and all the way from New Orleans, Mitchell making a football pick. How about them apples? Starts off in the first. Douglas strong, Kevin Hudson in traffic, then breaks out, and then he goes the distance. He's going for something they call speed. He's going for 6 points. 77 yards for the score, 13-0 Douglas. More Trojans still in the first half. De'Aaron Martin will get his number called, take it in for the touchdown. They go for 2 and get it. Douglas up 21-0 at that point, and the Trojan faithful very happy. Blue Jays battle back to Marco Jones, to Keena Webb. 21-13 Douglas. Then Jones will go to Josh Hudson to tie it at 21 at the half. Second half, though, Douglas just goes out and wins it. 33-21 is your final. Let's next go to 6.
Thank you very much, ladies. It's Douglas at Jelsma Stadium to face Guthrie. Look at Kevin Hudson. He's looking for people to punish with the stiff arm. He's got speed, too. He gets to the boundary. And that, my friends, is an 88-yard touchdown run. Spoil a little of the drama there at the end. Douglas leads 13-0 after a missed extra point. Douglas again at the Guthrie 45. Hudson, this time through the air to Brandon Hill. Through the air on the pitch, that is. More stiff arming tonight from Douglas. Deep into Guthrie territory. Guthrie crowd making a second appearance there. And then the handoff. Touchdown. 21-7 Douglas, and that one late, 33-31. Guthrie trying to hold on there. Okay, that's a fourth quarter score. We don't have the final yet, but Douglas in a high-scoring affair at Guthrie, 33-31. All right, we have much more to come. And
track the weather 24 hours a day. Just head to our website, channeloklahoma.com, where Advantage Doppler HD is streaming live right now. Our other big story of the day, Oklahoma's Heat killed an up-and-coming high school football player.
17-year-old Chris Stuart collapsed during a Douglas High School practice earlier this week. Tonight, his family is coping with his unexpected death. Eyewitness News 5's Terry Watkins starts our team coverage of this big story. Terry.
Well, John, Chris Stewart's mother, Janet, said she knew how special her son was, but it wasn't until the last few days that she found out how special other people thought he was.
I wish he could be here or could have awakened to had known, or for someone to tell him all these great things, but that wasn't meant to be.
Chris Stuart, honor student, offensive lineman, died 2 days after collapsing on the Douglas High School football field.
Although he wasn't born here, he was a true Douglas Trojan. I will say that.
He had worked his way from water boy to starting lineman.
That says to me that he had it in his heart to work hard, to fight, to become part of a team. And Douglas has always been part of my son's team.
He was enrolled in AP Language and Composition. He was enrolled in AP U.S. History. He had honors pre-calculus.
All listed on a life plan.
And one of the questions I ask my students is, what would you like, is there something you'd like to change about yourself? And his response is, nothing. I like being big country.
Most kids didn't even know his name was Chris. They only knew big country, so.
A 17-year-old with big dreams cut short.
And to all you parents out there, your kids that are in the sports and playing the football, or be it baseball, basketball, make sure they stay good and hydrated.
Now, the formal ruling of heat stroke in Chris Stewart's death came late this afternoon. We talked to the Oklahoma City schools. They said at this point in time there are no plans to change practice schedules or anything else, but they will, of course, be looking at it. Reporting live at Douglas High School, Terry Watkins, Eyewitness News 5.
Funeral services for Chris Stuart are scheduled for Wednesday at 11 in the morning at the Douglas High School gym. That's the day before students there go back to school. Now the Douglas High School football team will be starting the season without an important player.
Sports Director Mark Rogers continues our big story coverage.
Chris Stuart was listed as 6 foot 300 pounds, a senior on the Douglas High School football team, was a projected starter on the offensive line. Everyone knows that Douglas is a football powerhouse in Oklahoma City. Stanford White led the Trojans since 1979 as their head coach. He passed the torch to his longtime assistant, Alonzo Shipp, before last season, and the Trojans were expecting a big year this year, bouncing back from a disappointing 1-9 season a year ago. Now, this type of incident is very rare in the state of Oklahoma. 3 deaths in the past 10 years. A player from South Coffeyville High School collapsed, died 2 weeks after sustaining a head injury on the football field on Friday night. And Terrell Francis, a player that played junior high in Norman, transferred to Vian as a sophomore, died after a practice back in 1999. No word out of Douglas as to the plans for the next week, whether they continue to practice. The Douglas family right now grieving, and understandably, no one is talking at this time. So we will have more on the situation, the death of Clint Stewart, Douglas High School, a little bit later on tonight, and we'll work this story on into tomorrow and the weekend. Mark Rogers reporting, KOCO 5 from Norman.
And coming up in sports, you'll hear from Carl Albert High School's head trainer, what he has to say about protecting his athletes.
You can watch for signs of heat illness in your children. According to the American College of Sports Medicine, the first thing to watch for is muscle weakness or cramps, followed by headache, dizziness, and nausea. At the first sign of problems, players should get into the shade, remove any extra clothes, and slowly sip water.
New tonight, police are
all that. Also tonight, the tragic loss of an Oklahoma athlete, a high school football player who collapsed on the football field. His death is now sending shockwaves throughout the northeast Oklahoma City community where it happened. New at 6, the impact the teen's death is having on Douglas High School. News Channel 4's Meg Alexander joins us now live with more. Meg?
Well, 17-year-old Chris Stuart wasn't just any student. He stood out at Douglas High School, both athletically and academically. His nickname was Big Country, and he was known to have a big heart. His favorite outfit, jeans, and his football jersey, number 78.
He set goals and was to start on the football team, to make straight A's, and to make the highest score on the standardized test.
All goals Douglas High School senior Chris Stuart had set for himself this year. Goals usurped by his death following his collapse during Tuesday morning football practice. Just before 10, Stewart said he didn't feel well and sat down on the bench.
Just then the assistant coach said he's not responding, and they called 911. He was transported to the hospital.
Stewart was hospitalized and passed away Thursday night. Cause of death, hypothermia due to heat stroke.
Because it's so hot.
Bobby Allen's grandson went to school with Stewart. Her younger grandsons will be at Douglas soon, but not on the football squad.
I have 2 grandsons that want to play football, but I say no because I think it's just too hot.
The school contends the football coach followed all rules for water breaks and allowed drinks whenever needed. Now needed help understanding why Chris.
Chris was a wonderful student. He was well-mannered. He was so well-liked by all the students here at Douglas. He was a leader, just a lot of fun. He was an example for kids in this school.
And school officials say, as far as they know, Chris had no previous health problems, and he had just passed a school physical prior to the start of football practices. Linda?
All right, thank you. The funeral will be held Wednesday at 11 a.m. at Douglas High School.
Also, the summer weather taking a deadly toll on a Metro family and a school. A Douglas High School football player practicing in 95-degree temperatures died from a heat stroke. And tonight, his family and friends talk about the tragic ending to a young life.
His smile, his sense of humor, his generosity.
That's what Chris Stewart's father says people will remember about his son, his personality, his presence as a powerhouse on the football field, and his excellence in the classroom.
Well, he was a very ambitious student. Anything he wanted to learn, he sucked it up like a sponge in water.
He was well-mannered. He was so well-liked by all the students here at Douglas. He was a leader. Just a lot of fun. He brought joy into the classroom, and he got all his work done.
And I made sure, and I kept it in his head, do more than just enough to get by. Do that extra step. Get a little bit more education. That way you'll be further along the next year you come to school.
The honor student's senior year ended unexpectedly when he collapsed during the first day of football practice. He died 2 days later.
Ever since he started in the 9th grade, is all he ever ranted and raved about the beginning of the school year. He knew football season was just around the corner.
The 17-year-old's dreams cut short.
His goal was to finish high school and then go to law school.
I wanted him to be everything that I'm not today.
But in his father's eyes, Chris had already accomplished what he hoped for his son.
He was well respected, and everybody liked him very well. Nobody said nothing bad about him. I can't find one person that could say anything bad about him.
Funeral services for Chris Stuart are scheduled for Wednesday morning at 11 at the Douglas High School gym. That's the day before students there go back to school. And tonight, no word out of Douglas on any changes to the practice schedule as the team prepares for the season. And there are symptoms players can look for if they think they're becoming overheated. They include muscle weakness, cramps, a headache, dizziness, and nausea. It's recommended players find shade, remove all excess clothing, and sip water or other fluids that don't contain caffeine.
Motorists are feeling the
We'll talk about smart pills. Turns out there is a pill that can send out a kind of alarm if you're in danger of heat stroke. And our own John Berman is out in Central Park this morning to put it to the test. John.
Good morning, Diane. Well, we're in Central Park because the humidity this morning is up over 90%. Still, we've seen a few joggers and bikers braving the stickiness. The heat can be so dangerous, especially for young athletes just beginning their preseason workouts in college and high school. That's why many teams are turning to this, which is a new space-age pill that they hope might save lives.
Chris Stuart worked his way from water boy to starter on the Douglas High School football team in Oklahoma City. His mother says it was his dream.
It is all he ever ranted and raved about the beginning of the school year. He knew football season was just around the corner.
Last week during practice, the unthinkable. Chris collapsed in the brutal heat. He died 2 days later, just 17 years old.
Let's do it!
In the last 10 years, at least 25 football players, high school, college, and pro, have died from heat stroke.
The higher your temperatures go, the body processes break down, and your body's unable to function.
Now, many teams are turning to a high-tech pill packed with promise. It's like a thermometer you can swallow. It's called the Cortex pill, a silicone-coated transmitter that will stay in your system for 18 to 30 hours and send your body temperature to a receiver nearby, where coaches and doctors can make sure you don't overheat. If your temperature rises above 104 degrees, you are at risk of heat stroke, seizures, heart failure, and loss of consciousness.
We prevented some problems. We had some guys that got hot, and we were able to get them out of practice, cool them down.
Sure, it works for football players, but how about people who aren't linebackers?
Here we go.
I gave it a try.
Big pill.
Inside in the air-conditioned building, my temperature was just over 99 degrees. After just 20 minutes of walking and stretching in the 90-degree New York heat, it was already over 100. Then the real test, a 3-mile run in the steamy, wet, oppressive heat. In just 25 minutes, my temperature jumped to 102.12.
102.
You're hot.
I can stop. I'm done. Finished.
You're done.
Knowing when to stop, when to cool off is the key. Janet Stewart lost her son to the heat. She hopes others will not follow.
He's still part of the team. He won't be out on the field, but he's still there with them.
These pills run about $40 a piece, and you can only use them once. The receivers go for more than $2,000, so the price tag is expensive, but considering the dangers for some teams, it's well worth the risk.
So, John, is anybody using it right now? That's so expensive.
A lot of pro teams are using it already. The Philadelphia Eagles, the Jacksonville Jaguars, the Minnesota Vikings, which, as you may remember, lost Corey Stringer several years ago to heat stroke. And some college teams are beginning to use it already. They have the money to do it. For high school, it's a little bit pricey right now, but perhaps when the price comes down, more of them will get the chance.
Okay, thanks so much, and thanks for letting us look at your form there, jogging. Thanks, John Furman. It's now 45 minutes past.
Last week, a Douglas High School senior collapsed at football practice. Chris Stewart's mom got the call Thursday morning that her son was being rushed to the hospital. He died 2 days later. Britton Follett sat down with Chris's mom. Britton?
The very next morning, Chris's mom was sitting in these bleachers watching practice because she says it's where her only son would have been.
Ms. Stewart, I just want to say I'm sorry again and that you have my condolences.
The words won't bring Chris back.
Pretty sure the last thing I told him is I love you.
The empty field isn't as empty as Mom's heart.
Chris is telling me, Mama, be strong. Be strong. And go on.
The tears fall when no one's looking.
I also want to say if you ever need anything or just someone to talk to, I'm here for you.
Janet remembers a conversation she had with Chris just weeks before.
What if I pass before you, and what if I pass before you? What type of funeral would you like? So I knew what type of funeral he liked out of the conversation and just what he was basically thinking. He would want for me to go on if he went before I did.
For Chris's mom, the what ifs have become what now.
So keep your head up, and God will see you through this.
Practice goes on.
Yes, I want it to go on. I wouldn't have it no other way, and neither would my son.
But it goes on one jersey short.
I love you, and may God bless you. Sincerely yours, the head captain, number 7, Sean L. Law Jr., and then he signed it. That's what my son would want. He would be there. And he probably is.
It was 82 degrees that morning. Chris died of hyperthermia. Since then, Chris's mom has learned that he does have a heart condition. Back to you.
All right, Britton. Funeral services for Chris will be Wednesday morning at 11 o'clock at the Douglas High School gym. And a memorial fund has been set up for Chris. You can donate at any Bank First location.
Parents in the country.
The students and faculty at Douglas High School will start school tomorrow, but they returned a day early to say goodbye to one of their own. 17-year-old Chris Stuart collapsed during football practice last week and died 2 days later. The cause of death, heat stroke. This morning, his family, friends, and members of the community gathered to pay their respects and share memories. Eyewitness News 5's Sophia Reza was there and is with us now live. Sophia.
Students from Douglas High School spent part of their last day of summer inside that gymnasium to remember the life of number 78, the person they respectfully called Big Country. Players from rival schools came to pay their respects.
And everybody loved Chris. Everybody loved Big Country.
The student body and faculty of Douglas High School honored the life of Chris Stuart, a teenager they called a positive-driven person.
That's what he told me. Academics is the key, you know, not sports.
A Sunday school teacher who never let anything bring him down.
We're not here because of death, but because one lived.
There were moments of sadness.
Like now that he gone, I really ain't got nobody that argue with me like Country did.
And moments of laughter. But it was a time to remember his life.
He is put to sleep, but he will always be by our side no matter what, and he will be watching over us.
No longer here at Douglas, but forever a Trojan.
To the rest of the team members, Big Country will be on the field with them every game.
1, 2, 3, Big Country!
And you can see some of the Trojan football players outside of the gymnasium, the team that Chris loved so much. Just talking with people today, you could tell Chris made a difference in so many lives. In fact, as his coach put it, he said Chris did more in his 17 years than most people. Reporting live in Northeast Oklahoma City, Sophia Reza, Eyewitness News 5.
Sophia, thank you. And the Trojan football team has dedicated the season to Chris Stuart and says they are planning something special for the first home game in September.
Until I seen a crowd of people that come out to see us home going, and I'm very touched.
On this day of celebration,
1, 2, 3, Big Country!
Big Country's countless cheerleaders make sure his memory will never die.
I want Chris' death to mean something, and if it improves and changes 1 or 2 people's lives, it'll make a difference.
The football team is practicing right now, and they say every time they step out there on the field, they can feel Chris right there with them. Back to you.
All right, Amy. A memorial fund has been set up. You can make a donation at any Bank First location.
Family and friends gathered today to remember a Metro High School player. Chris Stuart passed away last week after collapsing at football practice. Chris was a student at Douglas High School. Today he was laid to rest with hundreds of friends and family saying their goodbyes. Meg Alexander is live with more. Meg?
Well, Linda, Chris Stuart was a role model to students throughout his school. Teachers said he was a dream student. making it all the more bitter that this young man's life ended so abruptly.
Big Country!
Chris Stewart's nickname, Big Country, echoing through Douglas High School as family and friends gather to honor the exceptional senior. An athlete, honor student, and leader, Chris made a difference in his 17 years.
And we join you in the celebration and perpetuation of the standards that Chris set for his life.
One of Chris's favorite places, his school, making the Douglas Gymnasium a fitting place to honor the standout student. Around 500 people came to remember the smiling boy, almost a man, who died from heat exhaustion after collapsing during football practice. His fellow teammates honoring him in team jerseys.
I feel a little sad, but right now I know Country's in a better place, and if he was here right now, he'd want us to say, you know, he'd want us to be good for the team, he'd want us to be strong.
Chris now laid to rest, but his memory and drive are fueling the Trojans this year.
This is what Chris will want us to do. He'll want us to keep our heads up and keep smiling. Plus, we got to go take state this year. We're going to do it for Chris.
And another sign of great respect for Chris, Millwood High School is Douglas High School football team's biggest rival, and members of the Millwood football team came to the funeral today. Linda?
True sportsmanship, thank you. Another accomplishment for Chris. School officials said he recently learned his score on last year's end-of-the-year U.S. history test. It was the highest in the state. And there are new...
Students and faculty of Douglas High School went back to school a day early to say goodbye to one of their classmates. 17-year-old Chris Stuart collapsed during football practice last week and died 2 days later of a heat stroke. This morning, his family and friends gathered at Douglas to celebrate his life. Friends lovingly called Chris Big Country. Today, he was remembered as a well-rounded person who loved his school. He was an honor student who hoped to become a judge.
Is because he was such a model, and his fellow students know that he was a model, and we can continue to look to his life as an example for our youth and for ourselves.
The Trojan football team will dedicate this season to Chris, and they plan to do something special for the first home game.
New tonight.
Song, celebration, and joy. That's how friends and family honored 17-year-old Christopher Stewart. You'll remember Christopher collapsed from heat stroke during a Douglas High School football practice last week, and he later died. The player was known as Big Country at Douglas, was a positive role model for everyone he met.
He was a good man, a good role model. More important, he was a good brother towards me. We weren't blood, but I claimed him.
Chris's family knew what kind of funeral to organize for him. He told his mother just 3 weeks ago if anything happened, he wanted a New Orleans-style celebration. A budget...
Well, D. White, they knocking down our history.
Look, the goals.
Huh?
The goals.
What goals?
Right there. Oh,
Goals.
goals, right there.
Oh,
Basketball goals.
basketball goals? Is that what those are?
Yeah.
They don't look old. Is that old stuff there?
Yeah, that's old.
All right. If you say so, you're the expert, you're the sportsman, you would know. Band room is gone, sir. Auditorium is being knocked down. The crane has got lockjaw there and says it won't open up no more. They got problems. The jaws will. Don't get up there and get caught up in that, man. Don't get your body chopped in half. Crane's got lockjaw. Well, maybe they're going to save the school now. Maybe the school can't get out of school now.
Get out of football.
If the monster's got lockjaw. Good men right here.
Mr. White, how are you, sir?
Couldn't be better, sir.
Well, good. I'm glad you're here.
You wouldn't miss it. What's that, Coach?
Buddy, how you doing?
All
Good
right.
to see you.
But the bigger school building wouldn't be complete until 1954.
How you doing, young man? You down here filming?
That's right.
You went to work for the other side, you work for KWTV?
Smile for the camera, Vic. Where the old folks sitting?
Welcome, fellow Trojans, friends and alumni. Ladies and gentlemen, we are happy that you have come to Trojan country to join in the festivities of this day. Thank you for being here this morning. I am James Johnson and serve as president of the National Oklahoma City Frederick Douglass High School Alumni Association. At this time, please rise for the presentation of colors by the Douglass High School Junior.
humbly, sincerely, and reverently we come at this hour.
Joining us for this special historic occasion. This is a very exciting day for the Douglas staff, the Douglas students, for Maps for Kids, and for the entire Oklahoma City community. Our beautiful school is full of teachers who are eager to teach and students who are eager to learn. You, our community, have provided us with a beautiful environment in which to teach and to learn. We're fortunate to have so many special guests in attendance today, including parents and community leaders. By officially opening this school with the official cutting of the ribbon. All those who gathered on the stage, please. Governor Brad.
Please be seated. Thank you very much. Principal Cooks, thank you for presenting me. Thank you to all of you for the very warm welcome that you have given me. This really is an emotional day for me and for a lot of us in the audience. This is an exciting day, not just for the public school system in Oklahoma City, not just for the city of Oklahoma City. This is an exciting day for Oklahoma. And Kim and I, you can clap if you want to. It's an exciting day. Kim and I are so privileged and honored to have the opportunity to be here with you today as we open this beautiful facility that is a testament to all that is good and great about the great state of Oklahoma. In the state of Oklahoma, and it's most appropriate because today we honor the oldest continuous high school in the state of Oklahoma. God bless you all. Thank you for being here, and I'm going to yield the balance of my 3 minutes that I've already overextended to Senator Connie Johnson, her request.
First, giving honor to God, who's the head of my life, and thank you, Governor Henry. This state of Oklahoma citation of congratulations reads, Frederick A. Douglass Senior High School, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma. Whereas on Saturday, April 8, 2006, students, faculty, staff, fellow alumni, elected officials, and others will assemble in celebration of the grand opening of a new home for Frederick A. Douglass Senior High School. And whereas located in the geographic boundaries of State Senate District 48 since 1934, and in its present location since 1954, where it has held title as being the prettiest campus in the state of Oklahoma, Frederick A. Douglass Senior High School has long been the flagship for the pride of the East Side. And whereas academically, athletically, and civically, Frederick A. Douglass Senior High School symbolizes a history and tradition of excellence in achievement, having produced in its 115-year history thousands of graduates, many of whom today comprise the nation's finest and most successful citizens. Today's building present to you the leader of our city, the Honorable Mayor Nick Cornett.
Thank you very much. Isn't this a beautiful school? I have been in this room, I guess, 3 or 4 times since construction started, but not in several months. And let me tell you, they have come a long, long way, very, very quickly. I want to commend the designers, the architects, the construction crews. If you just look around this room, the attention to detail is to be commended, and I want to show another round of applause for our design people and the construction people. You know, back in November, when the voters of Oklahoma City, in November of 2001, voted to increase their sales taxes in order to build these school projects and pass the bond issue that would produce $700 million for 75 school projects. I think one of the concerns was we don't want 75 schools that all look the same. We want each of them to have their own amount of uniqueness, and I think we see that today. We also knew way back in November 2001, when we looked at the calendar of all the projects and how they were going to unfold, that 2006 would be the most important year for Maps for Kids, because it was going to be in this year that we opened our 3 high schools, brand new high schools. Douglas, U.S. Grant, and John Marshall. And let me tell the designers, the architects, They have set the standards very high for the next two high schools to open in August and then in December and January of next year. This is going to be something else. We heard
and call her not only a tremendous public servant, but also my friend, Mrs. Thelma R. Parks.
This is a beautiful day that the Lord has made, and we will all celebrate in it. Thank you, Mr. Hudson, chairman of our Oklahoma City School Board, and a very good friend. It is a day of celebration for Douglas High School. And I might add that I was a former teacher here for 14 years. I hear you out there. The vocabulary and the reports. This is not my first visit to the new facility. We have been in and out during the progression of the completion of this building. To be here today to officially open Douglas High School is an honor. City Public School. My friend and your friend, Mr. Bob Moore. Mr. Moore.
Good morning. It's certainly my honor to be here today to celebrate the official opening of the new Douglas High School. When I came to Oklahoma City 3 years ago, Maps for Kids was a major reason why I located here. I saw the vision and support of a progressive metropolitan center.
As a father who has raised 5 kids, all of whom went to public school, I know how important it is to have quality in our public education. And I want to make sure that I don't omit introducing the lady that raised those 5 kids, my wife, Judy. Judy. And as we're here today, and we're looking at this great new building, you know what we're really seeing? What we're seeing is a big box. We're standing inside and sitting inside of a great big box. What are we going to fill this box with? What are we going to do with it? And, you know, what are the students going to do with it? All of us as parents, you raise your kids, what happened at Christmas or birthday? Now I've got the chance to introduce a good friend who's going to give her thoughts to you. Willa Johnson, city council member from 7th Heaven. Will and I have enjoyed some fun times together. We went out on the coldest day of the winter a couple of years ago. Willa and I were out on Northeast 23rd Street going up and down telling the businesses about some different economic opportunities there. So this lady doesn't just talk the talk. Even when it's freezing cold and blowing wind, she walks the walk. Go ahead.
Today, we will fight. Yeah. Thank you, Congressman Ister. You know, I'm excited about being here this morning. My class was the first 10th grade class to attend the school that's going to get the wrecking ball. And so it's an honor for me to be here as a part of that infamous class of 57 to enjoy this opening. Douglas High School is named for a special American, and it's an honor for this generation of youngsters to attend school in a building carrying his name. I look forward to hearing from Mr. and Mrs. Douglas in a few minutes.
But as the first new high school constructed under the Maps for Kids, and I worked on that committee.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. To Mayor Mick Cornett, our Oklahoma City School Board President, Mr. Cliff Hudson, our District 5 School Board member, Mrs. Thelma Reese Parks, and other distinguished school board members, our Douglas High School Principal, Mrs. Valen Cooks, administrators, students and staff, visitors and friends. As president of Frederick Douglass A. High School and the Trojan class of 2006, I would like to express to each of you, on behalf of our student body, our profound gratitude for your support and presence here today. We especially want to thank you, the taxpayers, who made our dream of embarking and being housed in this beautiful new state-of-the-art high school a reality. We applaud the leadership of our city leaders and school board members for spearheading the Maps for Kids initiative, which has enabled us, along with students at our fellow high schools, to engage in our studies in comfort and dignity. Because she happens to be married to our dynamic governor, Governor Brad Henry, but she is also the First Lady of our state because she is a leader in her own right. For she has emerged as Oklahoma's foremost advocate and champion for education. Perhaps she is passionate about promoting and enhancing education for all entities in our state involved in the educational process because she has been on the front lines as a dedicated classroom teacher. Prior to becoming Oklahoma's First Lady, she spent most of her teaching career at her alma mater, Shawnee High School, teaching history, economics, and government. She was also an outstanding AP American History teacher. Many of her students achieving success by passing an AP American History examination. Her instructional skills and commitment to students led to her being one of 5 recipients nationwide of the 1999-2000 Close-Up Foundation's Linda Meyer. Thank you.
Incredible grace and poise. You know, as I walk through the halls of the Capitol and I see the beauty and the grandeur of our state capitol and our nation's capital as well, and I walk onto the floors of the House chambers and the Senate chamber, Mr. and Mrs. Frederick and B.J. Douglass.
Good morning. What a beautiful morning God has given us for the celebration of this occasion, where we have not only cut the ribbon celebrating the grand opening of Douglas High School, but we have cut the chains that have held back so many people for so many years. And I want to salute all who have been involved in this tremendous effort to bring forth the school, the governor, the mayor, all the wonderful people I met in the parks, and I have to give a special word to Valen Cooks, who I met and become so impressed with her. She's probably going to hit me for saying this, but I've come to think of her as the bride of the tribe of the South. But I commend all of the wonderful people that have been involved in this, and again, I'll go back and give credit to God because He brought forth a convergence of events and elements and metals and bricks and all the things that comprise this school. And I want to call it a university because you could take the name Frederick A. Douglass High School and change it to Frederick Douglass University, and you could bring in some professors over the weekend and change the curriculum and you would have a university because that is how great this facility is. And I want to tell you, it's interesting to note that this is perhaps the only school named after my ancestor that uses the initial A. Now, he was born Frederick Augustus Washington Bailey on the east side. And if you look in the dictionary, you will find that August or Augustan means grand and magnificent. And what have be but one of the most magnificent facilities that I have ever seen in my life. So, you know, this is a grand opening, but this is also a graduation because you're graduating from what was once the colored school, then the Frederick A. Douglass High School, and now we have the new Frederick A. Douglass High School. And I might get so carried away that I might confer an honorary degree upon myself, an honorary alumnus degree. I have to tell you, one of the things that made me so proud when I learned that it was a desire of the wonderful citizens of Oklahoma City and the school board and others to have me and my wife come here. You see, there are connections between me and this school because of the bloodline that I carry, being a descendant of Frederick Douglass, one that I'm very proud of. But there's also an intellectual connection because Ralph Ellison is a graduate of Douglass. Ralph Ellison wrote Invisible Man, which is one of the finest American masterpieces of all time, bar none. And in the tradition of Ralph Ellison, who learned to play trumpet here, he was a musician before he went on to be an author, and who was under the tutelage of so many great instructors. And I also think about Frederick Douglass Moody, who I know is a great influence on what we have here today. But if Ralph Ellison were standing at this podium today, and I do not claim to be channeling Ralph Ellison, but he would issue a challenge to the faculty, the staff, the administrators, and especially to the students to write a new novel. And that novel would be entitled Visible Men, Visible Women. Visible men and visible women involved in dedicated community service. Visible men and visible women taking charge of their lives and their destinies. You will be forever free. And for all of those assembled here, parents, teachers, students, elected officials, administrators, who have come together, I say, I would unite with any man or woman to do right, and no man or woman to do wrong. But we are here on a cause that is so right that no one can deny. And in the struggles that I know that will continue, because it's always a struggle. You see, one of the reasons I talk about getting parents and teachers influence in America, and I would share it with you, and always remember, there's no struggle, there's no progress. Those who profess to favor freedom and yet deprecate agitation are men who want crops without plowing up the ground. They want rain without thunder and lightning. They want the ocean without the awful roar of its mighty waters. There must be a struggle. It may be a moral one, or it may be a physical one, but there must be a struggle. Power concedes nothing without a command. It never did, and it never will. And since I have the power of the microphone, I'm going privilege. And I am going to ask my wife, B.J. Douglas, to join me on the stage and sing a song which I think is apropos to this moment, Order My Steps.
Well, I want to say that just remember the 10 most powerful two-letter words in the English language. If it is to be, it is up to me. If it is to be, it is up to me. With you and God, all things are possible. Thank you, Oklahoma, for this wonderful school. Thank you, Oklahoma, for welcoming my husband and I. Order my steps in your word, dear Lord. Lead me, guide me every day. Send thy anointing for the rock rain. Order my steps in your word. Humbly I ask thee, teach me your will. And while you are working, Lord, help me be still. Though Satan is busy, God, you are real. Order my steps in your word. Rise on my tongue, let your words ever praise. Let the words of my mouth be acceptable in thy sight. Take charge of my thoughts, both day and night. Order my steps in your word. Please order my steps in your word. Please.
Thank you, Trojan Band. And thanks to all of you. You are truly all our distinguished guests. Thank you so much for coming to help us to celebrate the great opening of the great Frederick A. Douglass High School in style. Another group whom I would like to introduce to you and ask you to applaud them are some hardworking staff members at Douglass High School. I'd like for all of our staff members, certified support administrators, volunteers, to all please stand. I would like to thank all of those who helped to pull this program together. This was a great undertaking. We have many students, many staff members who worked long hours along with the community organizations that sponsored this event for us today. We would like for you to tour the remainder of the school. Outside these doors, there has been a reception.
You all be here. You all be here. Hey, what's going on? How you doing, Miss Harmon?
Did you take the program?
Bits and pieces of it, not all of it.
Would you make me one? I buy it from you.
I'll make it. It's not a whole program, but I'll make it for you. You like to buy it.
Coach White, right.
What's going on, Bill?
Coach White, how you doing? No, thank you. Yes, sir.
Good to see you.
Yes, sir. Have a good day. I'm fine. How are you?
Fine.
How you doing?
They treat me a lot better. How you doing, Coach White? What's going on, old Trojan? Hey, Miss Scott, how you doing? How you doing? All right, how you doing? Good to see you too.
It'd be for a good cause. I know it was. Our cause. Cause we need it.
Are you out? No.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
Doing fine.
Good, good.
How's your sister?
Oh, she's hanging in there.
Okay.
She's hanging in there. She, she's down in Atlanta with her daughter. I talked to her this morning, so she has good spirit.
Okay, well, good. Talk to you again until I said hi.
I sure will. I would have come pick you up if I'd known you were coming. I came by myself. How are you doing?
They're not seated,
What's going on, Coach?
How you doing?
How's everything?
Keeping that history, I see.
Stand on one of these corners, I get everybody.
Look, there's Mr. Guthrie. Oh, we miss you. We miss you.
We got a nice facility here.
Yes, it's a nice. Hello, with Tony.
Hush now, okay. Say what now?
Yes, I came over with Tony.
Okay. How things going?
Good. How's everything with you? Look good. We charming good.
You know, that's my mama.
Yeah, that's my mama.
Really?
Yeah.
You know that?
I thought you knew. I'm sorry.
Thanks for all the emails and stuff.
Oh, you're welcome.
You almost threw me off on this, though, because you got two different emails, two different dates and times.
Well, see, they had a program yesterday.
Okay,
and then
that
they
was
had,
the 8:30.
yeah, it was awesome, too. Yeah, you should have been there.
wish that been.
You miss us?
Not you. Yes, I do.
Why you not gonna come back?
I don't come back all those bad children. You come back all those bad children.
I'm still waiting for that, honey.
Let me, I've got to read that. I'll send it to you. You will not be racist. Just quit. This is so fresh year out of retirement.
Classroom and all?
Yeah.
Coach White, God bless you.
Boy, you sound good up there. I heard you way up, way down there. How things going?
All right. College.
Where you gonna go? Where? That's the only place to go. Place to go.
I could have went to the state, but no, I screwed up. 9th grade here, 10th grade, 11th grade.
Nicest place to be. That's like being home.
Filming them all up, huh?
Don't give them, yeah.
I didn't even think to bring mine.
Well, I started not to bring mine. I'm glad I did.
Good.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Doing great, and you?
Nice retirement for you.
Couldn't be better.
50 more days. I'm Jordan.
Have mercy.
I'm ready. June 16th.
You're great.
I'm ready. My husband already did. So I'm
all right. Good. Don't nobody know me.
I walk right by my thing. I'm
Nobody
sorry.
know me. You're not supposed to know me.
Okay, I'm sorry.
How you doing?
How you doing?
Doing great.
I don't know if I want.
Where you been hiding?
I don't know if I want to. You're a mess.
How you been doing? Hi, Deborah. All right, that's the way I want you now. Okay, can't run. You and sister.
Thank you.
All these camera halls here. Surrounded by camera halls. Hey, twin. How you doing, dude? Good to see you. Pastor Reed, how you doing?
How you doing, man?
All right, doing great.
How you doing?
How you doing?
I'm doing great. How you?
Doing fine. And you?
Great.
Good. Hey, how you doing, niece?
How you doing, Uncle?
You doing okay? Yeah, you're all right. I gotta get the old Trojans here. These are the old OGs, they call them. All the OGs. All of them.
on, kids.
Hey, classmate, how you doing?
Hi, how are you? I'm doing. How you doing? Well.
Deborah's camera. Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing fine.
Smile for the camera. How you doing?
I had to go get me a jacket made.
Sure, yeah. You got the colors at first, but it'll work.
Yeah,
Still
yeah.
black and orange.
Yeah,
That's all that counts.
Where are you at? Yes, where are you, girl? Okay, well, we're out here with Coach White, girls. Y'all need to come on out of there.
Who's she talking to?
Carla Jean Persley?
I just saw her. I already hugged her.
Yes, it's so good to see you as a wife. How you been doing?
I didn't see you, man. Let me give you a picture of him. Hey, man. I gotta get his picture. My 7th grade metal shop teacher.
Kind of rough in that one.
Ribbon? Huh?
A piece of ribbon?
Yeah, I'll take a piece.
There's your ribbon cutting here.
All right. That'll work. Appreciate it.
Slide me a piece.
Start your own museum.
What you say, sport? How you doing? All right. How you doing? Hope y'all keep it nice. It's been 30 years.
Yeah, it's good to
Haven't
see
changed a bit.
Oh, my. Well, I have really. It's good to see you.
Good to you, too.
That's what we go yesterday.
You got maced by accident.
I'm standing against the wall with my cashier right there. Our cashier there. They hit against the wall, and I jumped up to see what was going on and turned around. Instead of him, Mason, he's doing them this way. And he come right up in my
And
face.
what happened to Janice?
And she's behind the counter, and he got to her and knocked her out.
This is a brand new school, so now I can't bring that. Tell me, you didn't get nervous, did you? Yeah, you didn't, could nobody tell it? You couldn't tell it? You did well.
Miss Davis, she did most of the help.
That's all right, but you had to get up there and do the work, though. So I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you. See you later.
All right.
She's been in tonight.
Well, Darian, they're tearing up my room. Look at that monster. Eating up my room. Let me zoom in on my room and see what he's knocking down. See my windows? Look at him. Climbing up there. He's tearing up my floor. Hey, man. I don't like that. He's crushing my floors, Darian. what he's doing. Yep, that's the room I used to throw erasers in. Throw erasers, curse Negroes, white folks too. Yeah.
Center court? You see REC in there?
Yep.
Oh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do?
Yeah, we're going tomorrow. Hero Douglas.
As they sack him back at the 36-yard line. Bull rush by Rocky Bernard.
One part of Oklahoma's offense that has been beat up because of injury. We've talked a lot about Texas A&M, but it's been an offensive tackle. Up top, you've got a freshman, Gerard Fields, working one-on-one. And that's just a good inside power rush that time by Rocky Bernard. Nothing fancy.
Ran him over.
But Fields got his feet tangled up, and because Bernard had that inside power hand, he was able to topple him over and go to the quarterback.
Third sack for Texas A&M. Second down and 20. They come on a blitz. Bodovich, the safety, chasing after Hibble. He gets rid of it, and it's caught back of the 46-yard line by Antoine Savage. Good work by Hibble under a lot of heat. They get it away for a 10-yard gain, so they got the sack yardage back, and it'll be third down and 10.
And even though, you know, a lot of people in Oklahoma upset that Jason White's out for the season because of his athleticism, Nate Hibble is no slouch himself. That was a fantastic job. Wes Bodovich came completely clean from his safety position on a blitz. And a very nice job of Hibble buying himself enough time knowing he had the comeback route.
2 out of 10 Oklahoma on third down. A&M is 1 for 10. They're combined 3 for 20 on third down today. Very little rush. And the ball is almost intercepted. Run in a double coverage and knocked down by Sean Weston and Sammy Davis. The receiver was Mark Clayton.
And the A&M defensive backfield today, Sean, has played extremely well, even when Texas A&M has brought pressure, which they have on considerable long down and distance yardage plays. They've done a fantastic job on those 3 wide receiver sets of figuring out who's rubbing off whom and who they need to pick up. That, again, was a very nice job by them back there, sorting out who was who.
The entire defense has played well for A&M. Oklahoma scored a touchdown after a botched punt by Texas A&M, and scored another touchdown on a fake field goal. This is a very good punt by Jeff Ferguson. The field position has been bad for most of the day for the Aggies too. A 43-yard punt down to the 11.
Getting a brad nailer or a finish nailer is easy. It's getting everything else that can be so confounding, like choosing the right air compressor and an air hose that fits, which can depend on your couplings and tape. Plus, you got your hex wrenches, your oil, and don't forget the nails. It can be a big hassle. Unless, of course, you get a Porter Cable Combo Kit. It's everything you need in one box. Just pick one up today at your local Home Depot.
Americans have places to go, things to do, so they go Midas. Alignment, we do that. Air conditioning, we do that. Brakes, we do that. So for total car care by certified technicians, who does it all? Midas, we do that.
BASF, we don't make the floor, we make it tougher. We don't make a lot of the products you buy, we make a lot of the products you buy better. BASF.
The champs track down the Titans in their first meeting. Now Tennessee is looking for payback. Ravens, Titans, round 2. Monday Night Football at 9 Eastern on ABC.
Back in Norman, Oklahoma. The Sooners in a battle with Texas A&M. And the noise loud as Ferris tries to change the play. And a good change as it results in a gain of 5. Keith Joseph, the ball carrier. Time now for the answer to our Aflac trivia question. You've had plenty of time to cheat if you are like Ed Cunningham, or think about it if you're like the rest of us honest souls. Who was the only Oklahoma Sooner who has won the Jim Thorpe Award?
I'm not going to say it. I cheated. I can't take it.
If you had found it in the book, you would have said Ricky Dixon in 1987.
Busy hitting me in the knuckles with your ruler.
With Roy Williams, a leading candidate for that award this year. Joseph again upended at the 18-yard line by Roy Williams. When we asked Dino Babers, the offensive coordinator for A&M, about Roy Williams, he said, wow. First word out of his mouth, and that kind of says it all when you watch him play.
Well, it is so hard to account for this guy. He plays in so many different positions on the field. He's so aggressive towards the line of scrimmage. The only thing that you have a chance, here he is right here. I mean, he's basically playing a linebacker. Try to get him sucked up and throw over the top.
And there he comes in to make the tackle. And stop the ball carrier short of a first down. They needed the 21. It looked like Joseph was stopped right at the 20. Yet another 3 and out for Texas A&M.
Look at the explosion to the hole. He meets the running back where the running back sees the hole. A good, strong safety uses his eyes to look at the play the exact same way that the running back does. See where the seam is. That was a little cutback, and Williams was there to fill it.
Cody Skates. Fielded by Fagan at the 42. Breaks a tackle. And takes it to the A&M 49. Chance Pierce, the long snapper, made the tackle. 38-yard punt, 9-yard return. Check out our Pacific Life game summary. There certainly have been some unusual and controversial plays in this game, both resulting in touchdowns. There was an interception that was fumbled and run in 18 yards, and then this big field goal where it looked like he was down. He clearly was down short of the end zone, but they gave him the touchdown after a moment's hesitation. The signal went up. Tim Duncan, the field goal kicker, with a 10-yard run.
Really a shame, as well as A&M's defense has played today, that they had to get a cheap one snuck in on him like that.
Dibble flush, but now he has running room. Couple of nice moves, and he slides down with a first down at the 38-yard line. Sammy Davis credited with the stop, but it's a gain of 11 for Hibble.
So difficult for this A&M defense because of the struggles of their offense and just trying to find some kind of identity. They've been on the field so much. They've worked so hard on conditioning, but they've got so many guys banged up up front, Sean, that they just don't have fresh bodies to rotate in for Mike Hankwitz so that he can get that power rush all the time.
Maybe the Aggies should leave the defense on the field when they have the ball on offense and take their chances. Quentin Griffin, the ball carrier, to the 35 for a gain of 3. Here's Leslie Goodell.
You guys talk about the injuries. Here's the laundry list of them. 4 tight ends missing, 2 wide receivers. They've had every one of their offensive tackles miss at least a game. All but 1 defensive lineman missed a game. They've had a spleen injury, broken foot, ACL, 2 disc herniations, 4 MCLs. Toss in your average muscle strains, and they are a complete mess.
And a partridge in a pear tree.
And they've had it all. 2nd and 7. For today, as you saw, Derek Farmer, the latest to join the injured list. Cutting across the middle, the tight end, Smith. A very short gain to the 32-yard line. And the conclusion of today's game will select a Chevrolet player of the game from each team. Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's general scholarship fund.
What a nice game Wes Bodovich has played at that free safety spot. He's started his third game in a row because of the injury to Jay Brooks, who came into Texas A&M as a walk-on quarterback, transferred in from Texas A&M Kingsville, but he has played sensationally. From blitzing, covering that time, a nice job on Smith.
Hibble throws, first down. Fagan fighting for every inch down at the 24-yard line. On 3rd and 4, the Sooners convert. Byron Jones finally able to get Fagan down. And Curtis blew a tire in the exchange. Has to go to the sideline to put his shoe back on.
Top receiver runs off. Very nice route. See how physical he is with his hands, using that slap to come on. You have to sell it to the outside. Again, Fagan, not the fastest guy out there, but he has the ability to use a couple of moves and use his hands. And Sean, you're starting to see Hibble calm himself down a little bit. He's starting to throw the ball a lot more accurately than he did in the first half.
2-to-1 yardage edge for Oklahoma. Hibble pitches it, it's bobbled and then caught by Josh Norman. Still on his feet. Finally collared at the 19-yard line. Let's get an update at Times Square Stadium. Here's John.
Sean, Tennessee facing Memphis, and Casey Clausen going to work here, looking for Jason Witten. Stands in the pocket, fires this one just now. I'm not sure whether or not the outside foot went down first. It looked that way. The officials didn't see it that way, so it's a touchdown. 7-0 is the lead for Tennessee.
All over the country today, some tough calls for the officials. Second down and 4. Hibble dragging the would-be tackler Marcus Jasmine. Brian Gamble with him. Stop short of a first down. Another 3rd down. This one is a short 3rd and about 2.
And I still have to go back to, that looked like it was a design quarterback draw. How many times do you want Nate Hibble, with Jason White done for the season, going in for ACL surgery? How often do you want him to get hit? I mean, I know it's part of your offense, and I understand that you want to do that type of thing, but I think Mark Mangino and Chuck Long have to start considering protecting the quarterback by their play calls.
Oklahoma, number 3 in the BCS standings at the moment, will take a 7-point lead in the 4th quarter. ABC Sports presentation of college football will return after this message and a word from our ABC station.
Want to start a family?
Right now?
I just got supplemental insurance.
What's that? Aflac.
Well, if we get sick, our health insurance won't cover things like lost pay or other expenses. This does.
What's it called?
Aflac! I don't know.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Impala. My dad had one of these.
Really? Wow.
I just have some very nice memories from that car.
Did his have the smoke lenses in the front? Rear deck spoiler, 200 horsepower, V6 engine,
16-inch aluminum wheel. Well, I just love that they brought the Impala back.
Whenever you call me.
Chevy Impala LS. The feeling never fades.
You're gonna love it.
This is my car.
Impala. We'll be there. Our flag stands for all of us, every single American. It stands for the rights of many people, religions, and beliefs. That's what freedom's all about.
Television's best dramas.
Bringing him in is really pulling a squad together.
NYPD Blue.
You figure you were going to clear this case on your own? Is that how it works?
Followed by Philly.
Don't threaten me, David.
I think you're a bad influence on me, Kathleen.
New Blue, 9/8 Central. New Philly, 10/9 Central. ABC Tuesday. Viewer discretion advised.
Syracuse faces #1 Miami or other regional action next Saturday on ABC.
Ford trucks are built tougher than ever. That's why Ford F-150 is the #1 selling truck in the world for 24 straight years. It's got a double 5-star government crash test rating, the highest conventional towing capacity, the highest payload, the most torque. And with 0.0% financing or up to $2,000 cash back, it's no wonder F-150's a Consumer's Digest Best Buy. So get the best from the best. Your Oklahoma Ford dealer.
Wheel of Fortune, weeknights following Eyewitness News 5 at 6.
Sean McDonough, Ed Cunningham, Leslie Goodell, our producer Bruce Clark, our director David Kiviat. Delighted to have you with us. Spectacular November afternoon here in Norman, Oklahoma. The temperature near 70 degrees. Oklahoma fell behind 10-0. The Sooners now lead 17-10 as the final 15 minutes of regulation begin. And another third down. Third and a short 2. Griffin still on his feet. And finally put on the ground at the 4-yard line. Looked like he was going to be down with just the necessary yardage to get the first down. Then he squirted out of the tackle of Evan Peroni, and it took Terrence Keel to make the stop.
This is why this guy is so good down around in the red zone, down on the goal line. So good with his balance. There, the right hand goes down. That's a drill running backs do every day in practice. The balance drill, put the hand on the ground. He's so close to the ground to begin with. What a nice job.
He put his hand on the ground, and the umpire put his hand on Griffin's helmet. There's Griffin up the middle again. We got a yard, perhaps a yard and a half. It'll be second and goal. And the way this A&M offense is playing it, they haven't had a first down since the first quarter. The 7-point lead seems huge for Oklahoma. Any kind of score here is going to make it very, very difficult for the Aggies with the dreadful offense they've exhibited the last couple of weeks.
Oklahoma has found a little bit of rhythm offensively, even though in a shotgun formation, wouldn't be surprised, some kind of draw.
Dibble, plenty of time. Gonna run for it. And what's the signal this time? Touchdown again. Oklahoma. Looked a lot like Tim Duncan, the place kicker's lunge for the goal line. When Hibble hit the ground, the ball squirted out, but apparently it had already broken the plane.
Sean, I don't like the way he's grabbing his shoulder either, the way he got up. Remember, he hurt his shoulder. See that left arm, how he's got it cradled in there? He hurt that against Texas. And as he gets hit by Lennis Smith and Jesse Honeycutt, I think he might have fell wrong again. I've been saying the entire game, they've got to start protecting this young man. He no longer has Jason White as his backup. It is a touchdown. Nice effort for him to stretch out and hit the pylon. But I didn't like the way he was carrying that left arm coming off the field.
And Duncan makes it a 14-point lead. Flag down on the extra point. Take a look at the touchdown run again. You thought for sure he was in, huh, without the knee going down?
Oh, you might be right again, Sean. Very close again.
It'll be a first time for anything. Might have been a roughing the kicker play on the extra point because they are not going to have them do it over again. So it's against A&M.
Well, let's just say this, Sean. It was a lot closer than Tim Duncan's dive that we knew was down, probably outside of the 1-yard line before he got across.
Let's go back and look at the extra point now and see if we can find the penalty.
A&M trying to do anything they can to get a big play. Coming off the edge.
Looking into the kicker.
Running into the kicker on the defense. Decline. Extra point stand. No carryover.
13:56 remaining in the fourth quarter.
When you put passion into everything you build, It's hard to just let go. It's okay. We're all going to good homes.
For a great car at a great rate, call or click Thrifty.
As a touchdown boogie coordinator, I'm called upon to be a miracle worker. Like this one kid, Nebraska. This guy is rhythmless.
What do you think you're doing?
So, I worked on him, broke him down.
That's a chicken, but it's not funky.
Build him back up until the moment that I saw him out there, I was proud like a father. When a father sees his little boy grow up and become a ballet dancer.
Bud Light celebrates those who like to celebrate.
For a great car at a great rate, call or click Thrifty.
An ABC premiere event. Saving Private Ryan. Presented uncut Sunday at 8/7 Central on ABC. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
Oklahoma trying to go to 9-1 overall for the year. 14-point lead. Duncan going into the wind. The line drive kickoff handled by Mickey Jones. He struggles out near the 30-yard line. Mark Clayton in on the stop. Antoine Savage, the starting receivers, also there. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Chrysler. Drive equals love. By Pacific Life, annuities, insurance, investments. Discover the power of Pacific Life. By Budweiser, with the crisp, clean, refreshing taste you'll find in no other beer. And by Thrifty Rental Car. Great cars, great rates at more than 1,200 locations worldwide. Thrifty Rental Car.
Texas A&M comes out in the shotgun with two backs next to Ferris, obviously in for protection. They have to start getting the ball down the field with a vertical passing game.
This isn't really doing much good. They've had 3 possessions in this half, all 3 have been 3 and outs. 8 out of 10 full possessions, excluding the one that ended the half when they ran just 2 plays, have been 3 downs and out for this awful Texas A&M offense the last couple of weeks, besieged by injuries. Done very little.
And I understand, you don't have a lot of the guys out there that you want experience-wise, but at some point, you have to let an experienced quarterback. I mean, Mark Ferris broke the Texas A&M record last year with over 2,500 yards passing. You got to just let him air it out.
He throws quickly with a blitz coming, and the ball is on the ground. And they're ruling the receiver had a catch, and then he was down, and another official says incomplete. Terrence Murphy, the receiver, Roy Williams picked it up and ran it in. The linesman on the near side ruled it down, and then as you saw, the back judge came running in and said incomplete pass. Tom Pringle, the line judge, said catch and then down, and the back judge, Mark Johnson, waved off the catch.
No catch. Good call by the back judge. Very close by Terrence Murphy. Let's not forget that he never played wide receiver before this year, his freshman year at Texas A&M. He has very good hands. He worked very hard during the summer, but that was the right call. That was a drop.
Yes, it was. 3rd down and 9. Ferris out of the gun. They haven't had a first down since the final minute of the first quarter. They have 3 for the game. And there's another. First down since the first quarter on the completion of Terrence Thomas, the true freshman from Houston. Antonio Perkins, a redshirt freshman, had the coverage, a gain of 14.
And Terrence Thomas, a true freshman, he's in there because of his speed. The fastest recruit that they had this year. Of course, a lot of these guys they were not counting on, hoping to redshirt this year. But this guy, Thomas, needs to be in there to help stretch the field vertically so they can get their possession receivers, Taylor and Murphy, underneath.
Here's the first catch of the day for Thomas. Ferris trying to set up a screen. And it is stopped at the line of scrimmage. Oshler Fleming caught the pass. But Dusty Dvorak is there very quickly, and Barry Hollyman as well. Time now for our Chrysler Drive summary, and it won't take long to summarize the A&M drive.
Chrysler would probably rather see longer drives with more yardage. But this Oklahoma Sooners defense, over 50% of the time that they're on the field, 3 plays and out against the opposition. And A&M finally getting a little something going with their passing game.
5-man rush, and the pass is incomplete, intended for Weber. It'll be 3rd down and long. Last week, when the Aggies were shut out for the first time since the '99 Alamo Bowl against Penn State, they did move the ball from time to time from 20 to 20. They had some turnovers in the red zone that really hurt. But today they really not moved the ball at all. 118 yards of offense in the 4th quarter.
And at this point on 3rd and a little more than 10, I don't know that you necessarily have to go for the first down, Sean, because I would start to think of using all 4 downs at this point in the game.
It's a 3-man rush. Ferris' pass deflected, and it's incomplete. Tipped by Rocky Calmus.
Calmus very quietly having his usual outstanding game. He is so good in every aspect. That time he drops off in coverage, reads the eyes of Ferris, gets in the passing lane, and at 6'3", able to get up and get a hand on it.
8th punt for Cody Skates. Oh, wow. He's just getting warmed up. That's a bomb halfway into the end zone. 55-yard punt.
Then I had that taste. The new grilled sourdough bacon cheeseburger at Burger King.
Now I'm a believer.
With grilled sourdough bread.
Not a trace of doubt in my mind.
A quarter pound of flame broiled beef.
I'm in love. Ooh.
2 slices of melted Swiss cheese. 4 strips of bacon. The new grilled sourdough bacon cheeseburger will make you a believer. Now for a limited time at Burger King. Shrek, the biggest movie of the year. Now available wherever videos are sold.
L is for the way you look at me. O is for the only one I see. V is very, very extraordinary. E is even more than anyone that you adore. And love is all that I can give to you.
Ho, ho, ho!
Oh, I hope you didn't put all those on the credit card.
Yeah, why?
Do you know what those interest charges are going to do to us?
Don't worry. I used our new Capital One no-hassle card.
Fed up with exploding credit card rates? To the neighbors! With Capital One's new no-hassle Platinum card, you get 1 low fixed rate and none of the hassle.
Gotta tell Steve and Laura about Capital One.
What's in your wallet?
Back in Norman, Oklahoma, these fans were a bit concerned early on when Texas A&M took a 10-0 lead, but it seems like the Sooners have things firmly in control now. With the ball in a 14-point lead, facing an A&M team that cannot get anything done offensively. And a quick pass, it's Savage pulled down by a face mask. He made a couple of moves to turn it into a 2-yard gain, and they'll tack on the penalty yardage. Marcus Jasmine made the tackle, but seemed to have the headgear.
So hard. It's such a nice hustle play by Jasmine, who's the nose guard. Get blockers all out in front for Savage. And as Jasmine gets over there, just reaching out to grab anything. The right call, though, is that head spins around. That's the personal foul type when they see the head going the other direction. But you really can't fault Jasmine. That's nice hustle from his nose guard spot, just trying to make a play.
And the umpire was going to make sure we knew who the flag was on. He looked like he fired it right at Marcus Jasmine.
Just don't throw it at his eye.
No, he's the biggest target on that defense. He's the biggest body. At 6'4", 310 pounds. Red shirt freshman from New Orleans. 2 years of football in high school. The coach is very impressed with his development as a young player, given the relative lack of experience. Wes Bodovich tackled Hibble. And, of course, Hibble's predecessor led them to the national championship last year. Josh Heupel, and he's with Leslie Goodell.
And he's not accustomed to standing on the sidelines, and he said it's been a long fall. How hard is it for you to watch the game from this perspective?
Well, it's good to be back here and watch the Sooners play, but it's been a long fall not being able to go out there and perform.
Now, you've watched the first half of this game and not a lot of breathing room. They seem to have opened up a little. What are your impressions?
Yeah, I think Nate's doing a good job of taking care of the football right now. Obviously, our defense is playing great football. And, you know, if he can just hold on to that lead, then we'll be all right.
Do you talk to him? And if so, what kind of conversations do you guys have?
Yeah, I've gotten a chance to talk with him a little bit. He's doing a great job leading the team. Really excited about the second chance that he's gotten here the last couple of weeks to get out there and play.
You spent the preseason with the Miami Dolphins. You injured some ligaments in your wrist. What's the latest, and what are your plans for the future?
Had surgery a month ago, ready to get healthy, and hopefully I'll start being able to work out for some teams in January and February.
You're spending your time here in Norman, getting better?
Yeah, I'm spending my time here watching football and getting rehab.
And he said he wasn't at the Nebraska game, guys, and confidently he said he'll be in Dallas for the next one.
Of course, it'll be in the Big 12 championship game and a rematch if the two teams take care of business. Griffin carrying on 3rd and short, and he appears to have the first down. Very close at the 48-yard line.
It was interesting, Sean, the comment he just made about Nate Hibble feeling like he got another chance. He got hurt against Texas. And then Jason White came in and played very well. Got the start because he played well against Nebraska. Then he got hurt. Feels like this is another chance for him to prove himself. And early in the game, you might have seen that little bit of pressure, feeling that he still needs to prove himself.
Ready, Curtis.
It is a first down. If time permits, stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental post-game report featuring scores and highlights from across the country with John Saunders and Terry Bowden. Everybody will be interested in that Miami-Boston College score. Miami #1 in the polls, #2 in the BCS.
Got to figure, even if they get a win, Miami, if it's not very oppressive against Boston College, they can come down in those computer rankings.
Miami leads BC 12-7 at Boston College. The Eagles giving them a battle despite being without William Green, their leading rusher. Quentin Griffin, the ball carrier, and Linus Smith made the tackle. Even if it's a narrow win, Ed, I think with BC at 6-2, and with a couple of quality wins, including a win over Notre Dame, a win is a win against a 6-2 opponent if Miami does get the victory.
Speaking of that 6-2 opponent, you have to have a lot of respect for Tom O'Brien to discipline his very best player when they absolutely needed him today against Miami.
And a lot of coaches would have said, you know, we'll sit you out next week against Rutgers.
Absolutely.
Tom O'Brien, the former Marine, putting the discipline action in effect for this week's game against Miami. Griffin took the pass and took it down to the Texas A&M 36. Terrence Field made the tackle. First down, Sooners.
And Quentin Griffin just made big fans of his offensive line, because at the end of that play, he could have gone out of bounds. Of course, the clock stops for a second while they reset the chains. But as soon as it's set, clock starts again, you can start running some more time off the clock. Very heads-up play by Griffin. Just let's get that clock running with a 14-point lead, moving again on offense, get these big fellas home as soon as we can.
Dribble out of the shotgun. Gave it to Griffin. Oklahoma very effectively now moving the ball and taking that time off the clock. 19 rushes for 75 yards for Quentin Griffin. Rocky Bernard made the stop.
Here's where you start to see where Texas A&M, Sean, they're just not playing with the same fire and energy that they had earlier in the game. I mean, the time of possession heavily in Oklahoma's favor. Over 30 minutes now to just over 21 for Texas A&M, and it's starting to take its toll on this very good Texas A&M defense.
Only a 2-1 advantage in time of possession in this half. Hibble after the fake, throws short. Trent Smith out of bounds at the 30s. Just inside the 30, Sean Weston and Everett Smith collared him. 6 receptions now for 63 yards for Smith. There's also a black belt in Taekwondo, and he has his pilot's license. It's the Super Bowl champion Ravens and the Tennessee Titans in Monday Night Football, 9 Eastern, 6 Pacific. Of course, that would be Monday night right here on ABC. Hibble on 3rd down. They need to make the 26-yard line, and they do on the completion to Josh Norman at the 24. An impressive drive underway here for the Sooners. They started at their own 20, and they've advanced to the 24-yard line of the Aggies.
Josh Norman, one of those guys who has played so many different positions. He's very big, the inside receiver on the slot. 6'2", 233 pounds. You would think he's as big as a tight end. Well, he used to play tight end. He also played running back. But as classes start to come in, Bob Stoops has proven to be a very, very good recruiter. These guys that get older in the program got to bounce around a little bit to fight their way on the field. And he's done a great job blocking downfield on all these screens today.
10th play of the drive. Griffin with the catch. Flag down. Griffin bounced off the hit and made it to the 15-yard line. But there is a flag down back at the 23.
And of course, right after you talk nice about a guy, he gets called for holding. I believe they got Josh Norman over on the side there, although it looked like a pretty clean block out on the edge.
In a relatively penalty-free game.
Holding on the offense, 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat the down.
It's the 4th flag against Oklahoma, and A&M has been penalized 3 times.
Sean, when we were talking yesterday, some of the players, and Bob Stoops especially, very obviously runs a disciplined program here. You can just tell by the play on the field. He has his team ready to play for every game, regardless of the opponent. But time and time again, you hear about the teaching. There's not a lot of yelling and screaming. They're very one-on-one. His coaches are very hands-on, including himself, in dealing with those players. And I think that's what you have to do in a new age, when these players can find out so much information about your program. You have to go to that where it's more one-on-one, not a lot of yelling and screaming, because they've got to go out and help you recruit as well.
Hibble throws for Josh Norman, and he's in trouble. Drop for a loss back at the 35-yard line. Sean Weston up from the corner to make the stop. Sophomore from Inglewood, California. Grew up in a very tough neighborhood. A lot of gangs. As a matter of fact, he wasn't often allowed to play outside as a youngster. But his family kept him on track. Thought he'd stick around L.A., go to USC or UCLA, but the tradition of the wrecking crew defense, he says, what brought him to Texas A&M.
He made his mark early as a freshman last year. He was a freshman All-American. They counted on him heavily, and he paid off.
2nd and 20, all-out blitz. Hibble gets away. It's a block from Norman, and is finally out of bounds near the 20-yard line. They'll spot him out at the 22. Brian Gamble shoved him out. It looked like might be a sack. Turns out to be a 12-yard gain.
Last week against Tulsa, the coaches pointed out time and time again how much it looked like Hibble had become a more aggressive rusher. There was a few times where he ducked his shoulder. What a very athletic move. It looked like he was going to step out of bounds, tightrope down, and put Oklahoma in a much better spot to convert this 3rd down. But the coach is very impressed last week with how he ran.
At the very least, he got them back into field goal position, and a field goal right now would be huge and make it a 3-score game. Play clock down to 1 as Hibble takes the snap. Fires it out in the flat. Mark Clayton weaves his way to the 1st down yardage. Made it to the 14-yard line, made it to the 11. Hibble's a lot sharper now than he was early on.
It's a different quarterback than we saw in the first half. Mark Clayton, another young receiver that they're so excited about. We got a bunch trips formation over the top, very physical route running. But that's just such a good route. That's a shallow cross route, Sean, and this is a young receiver, a freshman. A lot of times they'll drift a little deep on that route, which allows the safety to cut underneath of it. But that's the one thing that Mangino and Chuck Long talked about. For a young man, he runs very disciplined route.
Hibbles hit on 9 straight passes now. He's 24 out of 37 for the game. He carries on first down and gets 2 to the 9 before he got popped by Rocky Bernard and Brian Gamble. Hibbles, the son of a coach. His dad was his high school coach in Georgia at Jefferson Davis High School.
Sean, he's taken an awful lot of shots today. Again, another designed quarterback running play we saw when he stretched out for that touchdown. It looked like he might have dinged his left shoulder. I know he's getting up slowly. He's really in no hurry. They're going to burn as much clock as possible. But he looks like he's taking a pretty good pounding today.
2nd and 9. Griffin driven back. Gerard Penwright has had a strong day at outside linebacker, up around the line of scrimmage all day. And you can't fault this defense, Ed. I mean, they've really played just about as well as the Oklahoma defense. But some mistakes on special teams, and the offense just dreadful for A&M.
I don't care how well you play defensively. When the other offense has the ball 12 more minutes than your offense, at some point the tank's going to run dry, and I think that's what we're seeing here late in the fourth.
Oklahoma's run 31 more plays on offense. This is the 32nd and a touchdown. Mark Clayton.
Once again, the reason Mark Clayton right here at the top of your screen has fought his way onto the field. Just total confusion by Texas A&M. There's no way that that cornerback couldn't have thought he had inside help. Clayton just goes in, finds the hole in the zone, what was supposed to be a zone, but obviously was not a very good one by A&M. And again, a disciplined freshman.
Second touchdown reception of the year. And Coach Mangino with a pat on the head for Hibble. Well earned after a shaky start. He's been outstanding. And it's a 3-touchdown lead for Oklahoma.
When you put passion into everything you build, it's hard to just let go. It's okay. They're all going to good homes.
Your search for the right financial partner brings you to the Pacific Life family of companies, managing more than $300 billion in assets. Discover the power of Pacific Life.
For a great car at a great rate, call or click Thrifty.
Penn State faces Illinois. Or other regional action next on ABC.
Back in Norman, Oklahoma. Oklahoma number 4 in the coaches poll. Number 3 in the other polls that matter, including the BCS. Now comfortably ahead with just under 4 minutes remaining. Tim Duncan with another good kickoff down to the goal line to Mickey Jones. down at the 23-yard line.
Through its youth education through sports clinics, the NCAA fosters the dreams of children in sport and in life. Focusing on the discipline, confidence, and dedication involved in sports, student athletes can apply fundamentals both on and off the field. When it comes to playing with a purpose, just say yes.
Seven times the national champions, the Oklahoma Sooners, most recently last season. Some lean years between '85 and 2000. The arrival of one of the great athletic administrators in the country, Joe Castiglione, to be the athletic director here, and his selection of Bob Stewart. The glory has been returned to the Sooner football program. Vance Smith, the backup quarterback, in now. The day is over for Mark Ferris. And I'm inclined to agree with you, Ed. You were imploring them for much of the game, the Aggies, to maybe put the ball in the hands of Ferris, let him throw it a little bit more. He threw just 20 times. Really is their best offensive player and leader, especially when Farmer went out. He was 10 for 20 for 59 yards today.
And if you look at what he did last year, you know, they did a lot of 3 wide receiver sets, emptied the backfield. I mean, he's used to that type of offense. I realize that Dino Babers is trying to get back to a little more balance in this offense, but when you get into a game like this where obviously nothing's going right offensively, you just got to take the wraps off and give it a shot.
Oscar Fleming finally knocked out of bounds at the 42-yard line by Brandon Everidge. Here's Leslie Goodell.
Well, a tough day for Mark Ferris. 10 of 20, 59 yards. And R.C. Slocum said from the beginning the only way they were going to get through this Oklahoma defense was by making the big plays. Well, Vance Smith hasn't taken a snap all year. He just took his first, and Ferris is now on the bench.
It's difficult to make big plays when you're not calling routes down the field. They moved the pocket a couple of times, but not as much as I thought they would. And just never really tried to establish any kind of vertical passing game. They got Terrence Thomas, a gifted true freshman in there, the fastest wide receiver. Got him in. He had a nice catch on a comeback, and then they brought him right out of the ballgame.
The deep ball, and it is incomplete. Very well thrown by Vance Smith, but Terrence Murphy couldn't make the catch with Derek Strait in coverage. That was a good-looking throw by the junior from Grand Prairie, Texas, just outside of Dallas. Vance Smith.
Big guy with a big arm, 6'4", 240 pounds. Leslie mentioned that this is the first ball game that he's had an attempt in. Coaches love his arm strength. Looks like Terrence Murphy might have got the wind knocked out of him when the defensive back fell across him there.
Indiana with the lead in Michigan State, and Ohio State a surprisingly easy time of it in Big Ten play today. Pass thrown short just back to the line of scrimmage to Keith Joseph. And we took down here 3 minutes remaining. And Texas A&M is going to have to bounce back in the regular season finale to avoid finishing the regular season on a 3-game losing streak. Their one remaining game is 13 days from now. The day after Thanksgiving, the traditional game at Texas. It'll be played at College Station. 2 games left for Oklahoma at Texas Tech next week in a game many of you will see right here on ABC Sports. And they'll wrap up the season with Oklahoma State. Smith sack. Jimmy Wilkerson and Jonathan Jackson. Jackson's a true freshman from Houston. That is the first sack of the day for Oklahoma. So if you're looking for a bright spot for the Texas A&M offense, there it is.
What a nice job by Wilkerson. Again, look at the arm rip underneath the left tackle. Very nice job of him getting underneath Jamie Hightower, the left tackle. But those long arms, when you get that rip, you can really get some leverage.
Booming punt by Skates. Another one into the end zone. A 64-yard punt matching his longest of the season. He also had a 64-yarder against Iowa State.
Those must have been some cookies you left, Santa.
I didn't leave them cookies. I left them cheese.
Ah, the power of cheese.
On June 6, 1944, American and Allied forces landed on Normandy beaches in the name of freedom and liberty. This fall, Jeep joins HBO in honoring all the men and women who served in the Second World War. HBO presents Band of Brothers.
Here's a look in at Boston College where they trail Miami 12-7. That's a fourth down play, and they pick up the first down. You see, with 43 seconds remaining, Boston College marching. St. Pierre has been great. Kenny Dorsey has struggled for Miami. 4 interceptions in the contest right now. First and goal. Boston College poised to knock off the #1 team in both polls and #2 in the BCS. We'll stay here and follow Boston College and Coach O'Brien trying to knock off #1.
Here in Norman, Oklahoma, a minute 50 left, and the Sooners just running out the clock now. They have the backup quarterback in. Nate Hibble finished 25 out of 38 with 2 touchdowns for Hibble today, 195 yards passing. He finished with 10 straight completions. Here's Hunter, the redshirt freshman, for the third with the pass. And also works. Near the 40-yard line. The game of inches today when Oklahoma has scored a couple of touchdowns on a fake field goal. They gave Tim Duncan the call, even though he was clearly down. And Nate Hibble went on a touchdown run. He rushed for 21 yards in the game. He barely made it to the goal line.
Good effort by Hibble. It looked like he may have come up a little lame on his left shoulder after that shot. He took a lot of hits today because of play calling by Oklahoma. A little surprised. Quarterback run in the offense. The option is one thing. Quentin Griffin through the line of scrimmage, kind of like what Clemson does with Woody Dantzler. A little surprised that they'd want Hibble to get hit as much as he did with Jason White going under the knife on Tuesday to have his ACL fixed.
So it appears Miami is going to survive that scare that Boston College on a late interception. And Oklahoma had an early scare with a 10-0 A&M lead in the first quarter, but the A&M offense couldn't do anything with the lead. And then the Sooners will come back to take command, and that will end it. Ronaldo works, tackled by Eric Crutchfield. That takes Texas A&M out of it in the Big 12 South. The Chevrolet players in the game are Brian Gamble. He had the 18-yard fumble return for the only touchdown for Texas A&M. And Nate Hibble, after a bit of a rough start, finished 25 out of 38 for 195 yards, 2 touchdowns throwing and another one rushing. In recognition of their efforts, Chevrolet will make a $1,000 contribution to each university's General Scholarship Fund. Here's Leslie Goodell.
Well, Coach Stoops, you weren't happy with the offense in the first half, but they came out strong in the second half.
We did. We executed. Nate hung in there, threw the ball, ran it well, got us in some good plays running. Really solid all the way around. Defense was outstanding, and offense got it going.
Talk about Nate, because you guys have been concerned about some of the injuries, but as Mark Mangino said before the game, he told him to go 100% on every snap. Were you ever concerned that that shoulder was going to act up?
No, you know, Nate's a strong guy. He's exhibited toughness. He continues to play hard. He feels fine. He's competing, and that last drive and put it in the end zone and overcame a lot of yards on, after some penalties was great to see. Nate really had a lot of poise and stuck it in there on a good ball at the end.
Your defense, R.C. Slocum said before the game that he was really respectful of your defense and how difficult it was going to be. They'd have to make big plays to beat you. You have to be proud of what they did today.
Defense has just been outstanding. The way they play, no matter what is happening offensively, we always have a great opportunity to win. They continue to play well, and hopefully that'll continue.
And looking ahead to Texas Tech, you have your hands full there?
Absolutely. Texas Tech. In this league, you're going to play good people every week, and Texas Tech does a great job, has had a lot of big wins this year. We all know Mike Leach and with us, so it'll be good competition. They're always good, so we'll look forward to the fight.
Coach, thanks. Congratulations.
(31-10) the final. Oklahoma goes to 9-1 overall, and Texas A&M with its second straight loss, now 7-3. Our final score once again, Oklahoma 31, Texas A&M 10. ABC Sports is online at ESPN.com. Keyword ABC Sports. Now for Leslie Goodell and Ed Cunningham, Sean McDonough saying so long from Norman. Here's John Saunders with the Thrifty Car Rental postgame.
All right, Sean, alongside of Terry Bowden, Texas A&M. You called it before the game. Just no offense to keep up with Oklahoma's.
Well, this Oklahoma defense is so good. If there's one thing that could get them back to a championship game at Oklahoma, it's their defense. And look at that score. That 31-10 is what most of the voters are going to see. They're not going to see how close this game won. That's a big score for them against Texas A&M.
And also for Bob Stoops, it tells his players, guys, we are on track where we want to be, Big 12 championship with another shot at Nebraska.
That's right. You know, I think sometimes Bob Stoops and his way of being so positive, he's already told his team, fellas, after that loss, we're going to win the rest of our games. We're going to get to the Rose Bowl. And when we win the national championship, it's going to be even sweeter than it was last time. More improbable. It'll be a greater championship even this year.
All right, so they're looking for that rematch of the Big 12 championship game. But as you take a look again at what Oklahoma has to do, and we're going to talk a little bit later on about what happened in Miami, an unbelievable game, point to Nebraska as well, because Nebraska, a game some of you will see next coming up against Kansas State, a big win here, and things could change as far as the polls go.
John, that's right, because, you know, Nebraska, if they come and beat Kansas State by a big score, with Miami barely winning, Nebraska could jump to #1 in both polls.
All right, stick around. We'll come back with the Thrifty Car Rental postgame report in just a moment. It's already been an unbelievable day, and only the noon games are done.
Sweetie, what's wrong? Don't worry. Show the needles I baked this pie for you. What?
Downloads. Faster, smoother, easier. DSL Internet from SBC Southwestern Bell. We're on it.
Call now and save $199.
ChannelOklahoma.com, your link to everything Oklahoma.
The Thrifty Car Rental postgame report. Great cars, great rates, and over 1,200 locations around the world. Thrifty Car Rental. From Times Square in New York, John Saunders and Terry Bowden.
Well, most of you, we took you out to the end of the game between Miami and Boston College. You had a chance to see Boston College charging late with a chance to get a game-winning touchdown. The interception ended that, but just the same. The final score, 18-7. It was 12-7 until late in the game. The question remains out there right now. Miami is a solid #1 in both polls. If Nebraska wipes out Kansas State in the game coming up that some of you will see, The pollsters could very easily move Nebraska to #1, and that could change things again. Miami might find themselves knocked out of the top 2 in the BCS because Oklahoma with that impressive win.
Well, you're right, John, because remember, in the polls, the coaches poll and the AP, margin of victory does count. People vote by the score. This was not an impressive game for Miami, although Boston College at 6-2 is much better than the people that were playing.
But then the question begs as well, okay, they struggle against Boston College. Next week, they're going to play a team that's better in Syracuse, a team that's won 7 straight, and it looks like 8 straight if they beat West Virginia today.
Well, I would think what Miami would have to say, people, we're playing better teams. We're playing teams that have won 7, 8 games this year. The fact that we win should be enough. That's what they're going to be saying, but some of the voters may disagree.
Yeah, the question is out there right now for Miami, and again, the Heisman Trophy race almost seems minimal when you compare it to what's going on in the national championship. But for Ken Dorsey, he had 4 interceptions the entire year. He threw 4 interceptions today to go to 8. So you question, you wonder whether or not he's hurt his Heisman Trophy chances as well as a chance to win the national championship. And that's the way the college football world has been playing out. And we want to welcome those of you who are watching the game between Miami and Boston College, and what a thriller that one turned out to be. We were just talking about how it affects the national championship race, and Miami perhaps being knocked out of the #1 spot in the polls. But Oklahoma is the team who stands to benefit right now. Oklahoma facing Texas A&M. And it was a struggle early, a 3-0 game. Nate Hibble gets picked off by Everett Scott, who fumbles the ball. Brian Gamble picks it up. You see, all the Oklahoma players thought the play was dead.
Well, this was a controversial call. Whether he had control of it before he fumbled is a question mark, but Oklahoma gets one back later on.
And Nate Hibble to Antoine Savage, 13 yards. And then watch this, the little fake, the lateral of Tim Duncan. Does he get to the end zone? No. Clearly, the knee was down before the ball went over, and that was 4th down. So even though it winds up being a blowout, that's a big play that could have turned things.
It sure was, and I just want to say maybe that's the way things balance out. Texas A&M got the interception that was questionable that went for a touchdown, but that definitely was not a touchdown.
So Hibble had a touchdown pass. He also had a touchdown run later in the game. So Oklahoma right now still poised. They know they have a shot in the Big 12 championship game. They might have a shot even before that to catch the Miami Hurricanes. We'll continue with more of the Thrifty Car Rental postgame report in just a moment.
Hey, Hallie Eisenberg drinking a Pepsi.
Actually, this isn't a Pepsi. It's new Pepsi Twist with lemon. And I'm not Hallie Eisenberg.
I'm Halle Berry.
Drinking Pepsi Twist.
Well, it's not exactly Pepsi Twist. It's Diet Pepsi Twist. And I'm not exactly Halle Berry.
You know?
I'm Barry Bostwick.
Who is Barry Bostwick?
Like twists? Try the Pepsi Twist in regular and diet. A lemon twist on that great Pepsi taste.
After Dad's stroke, he had to go into a nursing home.
Well, it was okay. It was nearby.
Yeah, but it wasn't like home. After a couple of months, we could bring him here and take care of him. He likes it better here. Right, Dad?
Food's better.
Flexible benefits for ongoing care from Mutual of Omaha.
Social life is not much.
Helping families take care of one another for over 90 years.
Welcome back. John Saunders alongside Terry Bell, getting you down to the bottom of the hour. Second half of the doubleheaders is coming up, but right now let's recap once again. The #1 Miami Hurricanes, #1 in both polls, #2 in the Bowl Championship Series standings. And Larry Coker says, well, maybe we're going to have a tough time in Boston College, but perhaps come away to the victory. Interception by Doug Bassett there, and that was the way things would go for Miami. St. Pierre, on the other hand, is Sean Ryan. And it's just a 9-7 contest. Boston College coming back. St. Pierre marching them in a little pinball. It kicks around. Matt Walters gets the interception. Do you call that a handoff? It was more like a give it to me, Ed Reed says. He takes off for the touchdown. So Miami survives a huge scare.
And they needed this game. The thing that amazed me was Ken Dorsey. He was impatient. He showed a lack of poise, and he never came around to have a good day in any of the quarters. That concerns you when you got so many tough teams you've got to play.
Yeah, the 4 interceptions there. And Miami's offense did not score a touchdown. Clinton Portis did have a terrific day. There was a lot of winds in the area, and they had to keep the ball on the ground. Of course, Syracuse is up next for Miami. Kansas and Texas, well, Texas again continues to roll ever since that loss to Oklahoma, 45-0. Cedric Benson, 213 yards on just 28 carries and 2 touchdowns. He also had a 60-yard touchdown reception. And Tennessee, ranked #6 at 6-1, hosting Memphis. 22-7 is the lead. Casey Clausen, 15 of 26, almost 200 yards already, 3 touchdowns and an interception. The second half of your doubleheaders are coming up. We'll see you at halftime. Enjoy the games.
They fought for our country, and now it's time to give something back.
The Marines have landed.
21 seconds.
Oh, boy.
Final answer.
Yes!
In honor of Veterans Day, Millionaire salutes America's heroes.
This is terrific.
The Millionaire Armed Services Edition, 2 nights starting Sunday, 7/6 Central on ABC.
Ford trucks are built tougher than ever. That's why Ford F-150 is the #1 selling truck in the world for 24 straight years. It's got a double 5-star government crash test rating, the highest conventional towing capacity, the highest payload, the most torque, and with 0.0% financing or up to $2,000 cash back, it's no wonder F-150's a Consumer's Digest Best Buy. So get the best from the best. Your Oklahoma Ford dealer.
We test dehydration under extreme conditions. We test how the brain works when the body is fatigued. We test over and over in a real lab with real athletes with a very focused goal of improving athletic performance. It's called the Gatorade Sports Science Institute. You can look it up.
Is that the new Taco Bell chicken quesadilla?
Yeah.
Ah, the hot new handheld. Nice. But does it come with any games?
Oh, yeah.
Now get a new chicken quesadilla with 3 melted cheeses or a medium or large drink and get a scratch to win game piece. You can instantly win an Xbox along with 4 hot new games rated every Wonder Team or one of millions of other prizes. To get your hands on the hot new Xbox, you gotta think outside the box.
If you see news, call 475-5555 or star TV5.
This is college football on ABC Sports.
In the nation's Corn Belt, it's every young man's dream to one day lead the Big Red onto the field of battle. Beginning in 1962 with Bob Devaney and continuing with Tom Osborne, Nebraska became synonymous with championship football. They reached their pinnacle in the mid-90s with 3 undefeated seasons, each new year bringing another championship as Tom Osborne ended his reign in grand fashion. Frank Solich looks to continue that championship tradition and needs look no further than Heisman candidate Eric Crouch. The Nebraska native hopes to finish his career with a date in Pasadena and etch his name in championship lore. Today he plays his final home game as a Husker against resurgent Kansas State. Memorial Stadium in Lincoln for the 247th time in a row sold out. And all of the fans have one thing in mind, Pasadena, and hoping Nebraska can again, as they did under Coach Osborne, win a national championship. They're on their way. They're perfect at 10-0. They're ranked 2nd in the country, #1 in the BCS poll. Today they're home to Big 12 rival Kansas State. It is senior day. We have seen this before. It's enough to make the hair on the back of your neck rise. 23 seniors make their final appearance on this turf. 17 of them played for Tom Osborne before his retirement. How important is the game? Nebraska's perfect in the North Division of the Big 12, but they've got this game, an all-important date with Colorado the weekend of Thanksgiving, and then the Big 12 championship to follow if everything goes as they hope. We welcome you to Lincoln, everybody. Brad Nessler with Bob Greasy. It's getting loud out here, partner. Kansas State has not won in this facility since you were in the 2nd year in the NFL and I was wearing short pants. It was 1968, but they've won 2 of the last 3, and Nebraska has that in mind. For Kansas State, who had a bit of a slump earlier in the season, to do what they hope to do, and that's upset them. They're going to have to run the football.
Well, make no mistake about it. This is a good Kansas State football team. Bill Snyder has turned this program around. 11 wins each of the last 4 years. They lost 4 games in a row earlier in the season. A lot of injuries, but they are back. And Josh Scobie, the running back who was injured back then, has been hot of late. They're averaging over 345 yards per game on the ground. And you're right, to win this game, they've got to run it.
Eric Crouch said he isn't sure sure how he'd feel today playing his final game as a Husker. But you go back to the first time he handed off the ball to Joel Makovica in the fourth quarter of a game way back when. And now he's Mr. Everything, and we can talk about him for the Heisman Trophy.
Well, and now he starts his 40th game as a Cornhusker. He's half quarterback, throwing the football. He's been very successful, and he's half running back. So don't think of him as just one or the other. You got to take him as a package. He has done outstanding. He holds almost every record a quarterback can have, and you think of all the great quarterbacks that have come through Nebraska, this kid's name is at the top.
He's got a pretty good one to pitch it to, too, at that IVAC spot.
This kid is really good. He's a Canadian. He came down. He leads the conference in rushing. Both teams are right at the top rushing the ball, and both teams are good at stopping the run.
Last year in Manhattan in the snow, it was Kansas State with a win, but Darren Diedrich says, I've got a statement and a message for the Wildcats today.
Whole time. K-State, they got us 2 out of the last 3 years. This time's our year. We're going all the way to the national championship, baby.
Hey, Hallie Eisenberg drinking a Pepsi.
Actually, this isn't a Pepsi. It's new Pepsi Twist with lemon. And I'm not Hallie Eisenberg.
I'm Halle Berry.
Drinking Pepsi Twist.
Well, it's not exactly Pepsi Twist. It's Diet Pepsi Twist. And I'm not exactly Halle Berry.
You know.
I'm Barry Bostwick.
Who is Barry Bostwick?
Like twists? Try new Pepsi Twist in regular and diet. A lemon twist on that great Pepsi taste.
After Dad's stroke, he had to go into a nursing home.
Well, it was okay. It was nearby.
Yeah, but it wasn't like home. After a couple of months, we could bring him here and take care of him. He likes it better here. Right, Dad?
Food's better.
Flexible benefits for ongoing care from Mutual of Omaha.
Social life is not much.
Helping families take care of one another for over 90 years.
Those must have been some cookies you left, Santa.
I didn't leave them cookies. I left them cheese.
Ah, the power of cheese.
Choose road. Validating tires.
BF Goodrich tires with traction advantage.
Approved.
For control you can feel. BF Goodrich tires. Take control.
Here in Italy, there's a place where the chicken marsala is so good you never forget it. And now Chef Neri has taught our Olive Garden chefs the secrets of her recipe so they can make it for you tonight. Olive Garden, when you're here, you're family.
Nebraska has won 20 straight at home. That's the longest home winning streak in the country. And here they come. They've got some big guys to lead the way for the two in the backfield that Bob and I talked about, with more on that. Third man on our team, Lynn Swan. Swanee?
One lucky kid was selected as the kickoff kid and received a 200.
Thank you, Brad. I had to turn myself on there. You guys are talking about the running game and talking about the defense, and this is the kind of ball game where the guys you would not like to invite to a $9.95 all-you-can-eat buffet will dominate this game. We're talking about the big ugly, the horses, the offensive and defensive linemen in the trench. And a dominator in this ball game is wearing number 77. Number Tanu Fonati is a big man, well over 340 pounds, and he loves to pancake you. If he gets his hands on you, he's going to put you down. He has all kinds of Nebraska records. Now, personally, I'm a waffle kind of guy. I say that, Brad, because I would avoid getting pancaked at all costs in this ball game.
At least you've already turned yourself on, Swanee, which is a great way to start a football game.
Thank you very much.
Nebraska won the toss. They deferred, and Kansas State will receive. The crowd is alive. They know that their Cornhuskers control their own destiny, that they can make Pasadena. All they've got to do is keep winning. But they can't afford a slip-up. Miami avoided a slip-up in the waning moments today. Nebraska, #1 in the country on the ground. Kansas State, #2 in the country, holding people from rushing the football. And indeed, something will give today. Josh Brown's got it teed up. Lockett and Newman wait on the other end, and it's Aaron Lockett, one of the best in the country as a return man. Not this time. Dropped in his tracks at about the 13-yard line. So Kansas State will work offensively with Al Roberson, the sophomore. His numbers not very good as far as a passer, but he's an excellent guy to run the football. He's a #2 rushing quarterback behind Eric Crouch in the Big 12.
He's had some injuries. In fact, he ranks last in the percentage, the passing percentage, only completing 40% of his passes. But when he played well, they almost beat Oklahoma in Norman.
They'll work from their own 16-yard line. They switch the tight end, Lamone, and they'll give it off to Scobie, the guy that we talked about. And Josh Scobie, one of the offensive captains, got about 3 yards on the carry. Kansas State's offensive line, Martin, Leckie, Washington, Eby, and Honarshian up front. The backs and receivers, Scobie, you've seen carry it. Rock Cartwright's a good fullback. Lloyd and Lockett, the wideouts, and Nick Warren is the tight end. Lockett has been a little bit dry in the last 3 games as far as a receiver, but he's their speed burner, and he's the guy they look to for big plays on a 2nd and 7. And it's Scobie again. Off the right side. Got decent yardage. Picked up about 4 more. It'll bring up 3rd down and 3 against a Nebraska defense that looks like this. Kelsey really coming on from that rush end spot. Clanton, Slechta, and Adams round out the front 4. The linebackers Shanley, Burrow in the middle, and Vedrill on the outside. And the secondary, Keogh Craver's been around forever. Booker and Amos, the safeties, and Deron Gross on the other corner. And Keogh Craver, one of the real characters on this team, one of the black shirts for a long time, and one of their defensive captains.
Very good set of corners for Nebraska.
And a timeout taken by Kansas State with a 3rd down and 3 coming up. Roberson will come over and talk it over on the sideline with the coaches. We'll take a timeout too. We're just underway in Lincoln, and no scores.
What would you do if someone passed you the keys to a Pontiac Grand Am for a week?
Now I'm getting psyched. Oh my God! Good boy! How do you feel? So excited. Got it, Grammy. It's date number 3, right? I'm telling everybody for the rest of my life about this.
So what would you do with the Pontiac Grand Am? Tell us at Pontiac.com.
You gotta have fun. A little bit of celebrating does not bother me.
These are great athletes playing the game of football. That's a celebration. That's fun.
That's because you ain't got no rhythm, man.
It's about individuality, Chris. It's called professional football. Act like a professional.
Stop talking about professional and organized. They're kids. Let the kids have some fun. We'll show you some fun. Oh, no, he didn't. No, he didn't.
NFL Countdown, Sundays, 11 a.m. Eastern on ESPN.
You're looking for one person who can point to solutions instead of pointing fingers. I'm Dell Enterprise, servers, storage, and premier services. And when they build me, they build a central knowledge base. So I not only have one person with all the answers, I have thousands. Premier Enterprise Services. Total accountability on site, online, and on the phone. Easy as Dell. Dell PowerEdge servers use Intel Pentium 3 Xeon processors.
What would you do if someone passed you the keys to a Pontiac Grand Prix for a week?
I'm out, man. Let's go.
I'm out to see the world. San Francisco, here we go.
Are we having fun yet? It doesn't take much to have fun, does it?
Man, it's like riding on a surfboard.
You're gonna have to call me Dixie if I wear this.
All right, Dixie.
I can smell the salt water from here. Give us the swell, baby.
So what would you do with the Pontiac Grand Prix? Tell us at Pontiac.com.
There's some good surf out there.
The champs track down the Titans in their first meeting. Now Tennessee is looking for payback. Ravens, Titans, round 2. Monday Night Football at 9 Eastern on ABC.
Before they snap it, Bob, Pontiac Game Solutions.
Got to have patience on offense to run the football and then long passes down the field. Win the kicking game. You got to get a touchdown out of your kicking game. Nebraska, just roll on. They lead the nation in rushing offense and avoid turnovers. Don't do anything to help Kansas State win the game.
2 tight end set for the Wildcats. They'll run the option for the first time. The late pitch to Scobie, and he got the first down. Run out of bounds by Booker from his safety spot. But Scobie gets 5, and it's a first down, Kansas State.
What they want to do, just stay on the field offensively, take some time off the clock, protect their defense from that Nebraska rushing game. A little bit behind him, but Scobie's probably seen that before. It's a good first down. It's, you know, you don't want to come in here to a hostile crowd, a tough place to play, go 3 and out, turn the ball over. You want to stay on the field, create some momentum for the ball game.
So first down. Kansas State just inside its own 29-yard line from the shotgun now. And the keeper by Roberson off the right side, and he's got a lot of room to run, and Booker's trying to track him down and can't. Inside the 30, all the way to the 29-yard line goes Roberson. We said, other than Eric Crouch, he's probably the best runner at quarterback in the Big 12. He showed it there.
And it's a good point. He's going to come over to the right side over here from the end zone view. This is a nice play early in the ball game. You can't say enough about Bill Snyder, Ron Hudson, the offensive coordinator, the planning and scheming. They're going to come out with their best plays early in the game, and that was a well-designed play. Moved one of the backs out of the backfield, took the linebacker with him, and a big play by Roberson.
Career long run for L, 43 yards. First down, Kansas State. And Scobie stood up by Shanley, the outside linebacker, and Scobie loses his hat in that exchange.
Shanley is a walk-on, an ex-walk-on.
Bill Snyder walked out here 13 years ago and now has 103 wins and has done a remarkable job with this Kansas State program.
You know, it's a phenomenal job that he did. When you stop to think where Kansas State was before Bill Snyder came and what he's done since.
5 straight runs for Kansas State. And this might be a pass. Maybe not either. Giving chase and dropping him. Vetterell, the linebacker, tracks down Rock Cartwright.
Now that was a pass all the way, but the quarterback who he was trying to throw it back to, there were guys all around the quarterback. If we can see Roberson on this, L's going to try and sneak out, and I think it's Adams, number 98, the end, that doesn't let him get away.
Way back at the 35-yard line now. And it's 3rd down and 17, and that certainly changes the complexion of the Kansas State drive.
Yeah, that was one of the trick plays that Kansas State had up their sleeves. They pulled it, and it didn't work.
Pulled it early. Now they're going to have to hustle to get this play off. Roberson does. Here comes a blitz. He's hit. Down he goes, way back on the Kansas State end of the field. Jamie Burrow, the middle linebacker. It's a loss of 17. Clanton started to collapse that pocket.
Well, Burrow inside, there's 2 linebackers that come in, and Burrow doesn't get blocked. Burrow shows up big in the big games. He had 17 tackles and a sack versus Oklahoma.
So from a situation where they were almost in the red zone to a 4th and 34. Ronsick to kick. And he's going to be punting near his own 35-yard line.
Now just don't make it any worse by getting a block.
That's right. They have the return on. It's an end-over-end punt. Gross thinking about taking it on the bounce, and now he gets out of the way, and this takes a great roll for Kansas State all the way to the 5-yard line. So a 47-yard punt. Eric Crouch will bring out the offense. He talked with us about playing his final game at Memorial Stadium.
I've learned a lot. I've come a long ways in this program. I've accomplished more probably here at Nebraska than I would have anywhere else. And I really exceeded my expectations of whatever I thought would happen here at Nebraska. And so I'm going to be proud walking out on that field, and I'm going to feel great about the game, and I'm going to go out there and play football.
And he's got a first down at his own 5-yard line. On the option, Crouch will keep. And Eric's got 5 to the 10. And that gives him a little bit of breathing room with which to work. Eric Crouch, we talked about his numbers, holds virtually all the records for quarterbacks, more touchdowns than anybody in Nebraska history. And there's his season numbers, 1252 through the air and on his way to possibly a 1,000-yard rushing season.
I think what he's more proud of is the completion percentage, 58%. They're not throwing any more than they have in the past, but they're just throwing better.
Second down at 5 as you look behind Darren Diedrich.
They're stacked for the run.
Here he comes. Diedrich straight up the middle. First down, Nebraska. Out to the 18-yard line. Offensively for Nebraska, here's the big eaters, and Swanee talked about one of them. Volk, Fonete, Garrison, Rutherford, and Ville Waldrop are the hosses up front. Diedrich and Davies in the backfield. Thomas and Gibson, the wide receivers, and Tracy Wistrom, one of the best tight ends in college football when healthy. He's been struggling a little bit, but he'll start the ball game, and there he is on the left side on a first down.
You got 10 guys within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage.
Diedrich, and this time stopped maybe after yard, and the ball is loose, and it's scooped up by Yates. Kansas State says they have it, and they do.
One of the game solutions early on we talked about was for Nebraska, no turnovers. Don't help Kansas State get into this ball game.
Yates with a fumble recovery, and Kansas State at the 20. Here's another look.
Let's take a look.
That ball's out of there.
Ball is out, no question about it. Nebraska is 10th out of 12 teams in giving the football away in the conference. They came in with 18 giveaways. That makes their 19th.
So now they line up right at the Nebraska 20. Golden opportunity again for Kansas State. Last time they went the wrong way and found themselves in a punting situation.
Offside.
Roberson. Looked like Kelsey and several others were flying into the neutral zone. There was red all over the place in the neutral zone.
Well, there was about 12 guys on the Kansas State side of the line of scrimmage.
John Laurie is our referee.
Prior to snap, false start offense, 5 yards, replay.
Okay, so they were drawn off.
Yep.
So that'll back it out to the 25-yard line, 1st and 15.
And that's got to drive Bill crazy. He came in. Penalties and turnovers this year. They're last in the conference in being penalized. The most penalized team in the Big 12. And that's all right if you defensively, but offensively you cannot operate with all the penalties.
Two tight ends set. And now Cartwright and Scobie both come up to try to hear what Roberson is saying. The lone wide receivers to the top of your screen, and that's Brandon Clark. And they'll ride the fullback. And the rock, Cartwright inside the 20, down to about the 18, past the original line of scrimmage. He got 7.
Behind the defense, we mentioned the longer the Wildcats stay in this game, this is a confident team coming in. They are 4-4, but this is a team that has beaten Nebraska 2 of the last 3 years, and I can't make the point enough that when you've beaten a team 2 out of 3 years, you're confident.
Second down and 8 now. Tight end Lamone in motion, option, the pitch to Scobie. Scobie wears Booker out of bounds at about the 15-yard line. It's going to bring up 3rd down and a long 5. Scobie on his way, it appears, to a 1,000-yard season, and he would be only the 5th Wildcat to reach that plateau. Came in 84 yards shy of that mark.
He's had 5 100-yard games already this year, and as we showed you in the open, he had a huge game. 2 huge games the last 2 weeks.
Back-to-back best rushing weeks in Kansas State history against Kansas and last week against Iowa State. 3rd down and 5. Again on the option, the pitch is behind Scobie, and that one cost him probably the 1st down. You mentioned the pitch earlier, Bob, that was a little bit behind him. This time coming to the left side, he had to reach back for it.
Well, I think Roberson tried to get the ball out of the fullback Cartwright's belly, and it looked to me like Rock, the fullback, Cartwright, wanted to keep it because he was hanging on, and Roberson looked like he was fighting to get the ball back out.
Kansas State hasn't attempted a field goal in 9 quarters. They've had all kinds of problems, 3 different kickers. It's been horrible on special teams for them.
They've hit the uprights all year long.
Joe Ream will try to make his first field goal from 34 yards. And it's blocked.
The saga continues.
It's been like that all year. And you're talking about a team that just a few years ago had a Martin Gramatica. Guys like that. Ream's brother was a great kicker. But they're having their problems with the field goal unit. They miss another. We're still scoreless.
What would you do if someone passed you the keys to a Pontiac Grand Am for a week?
We're going to drive as fast as we can to San Francisco.
We're doing big things. The Pontiac Grand Am, big things, baby. 3-car park next 3. That's it. How do we get to 3-car? Vegas!
This is like living a dream, baby.
Yeah! Welcome to Vegas, baby. We on the strip, baby.
On the strip.
Oh, yeah!
Girls gone wild at the Bellagio.
Yes. So what would you do with the Pontiac Grand Am?
How you doing?
Tell us at Pontiac.com. What would you do if someone passed you the keys to a Pontiac Grand Prix for a week?
We're on our way to Lime Rock, premier Grand Prix racetrack around here.
Where else would you take a Grand Prix except on a Grand Prix track?
Let me see how you handle, baby.
Did I tell you?
It's so much fun.
Get out of my way.
Talk about an adventure. None of us have ever been to AC. Tux's dinner. What do you mean it's nice? I don't think a waiter.
Can you hit him? So what would you do with the Pontiac Grand Prix?
Elvis!
Tell us at Pontiac.com.
So Tim Demuth gets up high on the special teams to block the kick, and we're still scoreless, and the ball goes back to Nebraska. So we've had the ball loose, and we've had it fumbled around a bit. Still no score, and Nebraska takes over. Maybe 3 yards on the ground before Kansas State brings down Diedrich. And here's that Kansas State defense. Bryant, Reese, Tangiai, and Shull. Lieber, Pierce, and Buell are the linebackers. And in the secondary, Petey Fagans, McGraw, Proctor, and Newman. A lot of speed back there. Not a lot of size, however. And McGraw is one of the leaders, one of the captains. Oh, quick draw. He calls the signals back there. Second down at 7. Diedrich has both hands around the football as he goes straight up the middle to about the 26-yard line. And it brings up third down short.
Well, no surprise, the defense against Nebraska offense is sending 8, 9, and 10 guys sometimes up to stop the run. What does that mean? That means that if they make this first down, there may be an opportunity to go down the field in a first down situation for a big play.
Haven't allowed a touchdown in the last almost 2.5 games. Third down at 4. Crouch will keep, and he'll go down at the line of scrimmage. Nice job by Tangiai from his defensive tackle spot.
This is a good defense. This defense is second in the nation against the run.
They're showing it, aren't they?
Yes, they are. This is a design run by Crouch. And Tangiai and Reese and Lieber and Pierce are there to meet him.
Kyle Larson will punt. Bill Bennett's team's done its job to force the kick. And Aaron Lockett, who was such a sensational punt returner last year, hasn't been that this year due to some penalties and some other things, and he just gets out of the way of this ball, and it goes out of bounds at the 29-yard line. So Kansas State gets it back. So far, a battle of field position, a blocked field goal, a fumble that didn't turn into anything. The defenses have controlled so far. We're scoreless.
There's a light in your soul that says you're one of a kind. Don't never let it go. Be original, an individual, like Dr. Pepper. Be you, do what you do. Dr. Pepper. Be you, do what you do. There's nothing better. Be you, do what you do.
They're
Mama, how'd it taste?
The new grilled sourdough bacon cheeseburger at Burger King.
Now I'm a believer.
With grilled sourdough bread.
Not a trace of doubt in my mind.
A quarter pound of flame broiled beef.
I'm in love.
2 slices of melted Swiss cheese. 4 strips of bacon. The new grilled sourdough bacon cheeseburger will make you a believer. Now for a limited time at Burger King. Shrek, the biggest movie of the year. Now available wherever videos are sold.
ABC premiere event, Saving Private Ryan, presented uncut Sunday at 8/7 Central on ABC. Viewer discretion is strongly advised.
Our sprint PCS game fact, Nebraska and Kansas State, the only 2 teams ranked in the top 10 in the country in both rushing offense and defense this year. Nebraska number 1 on the ground, Kansas State number 5. And Nebraska 8th against the run. Kansas State, as Bob said earlier, 2nd in the country. And flags fly all over the field. Always love a penalty right after a timeout.
Yeah, it drives you nuts. Even you don't get the ball snapped.
False start offense.
Got to be 2 guys moving.
Darren Sproles was the guy that was coming from the near side and running basically toward the quarterback.
Snyder returned only 4 starters from last year's offense. And when you do that, you got to, and then 2 of his offensive linemen that did return were injured early in the season and out for the year. So a lot of new people.
No passing fancy here today. Every play's been a run.
Every play's a run.
Sproles coming around, but they'll keep it straight up the middle with the big fella, and he gets past the original line of scrimmage. Joe Hall, about 290 of him. Well, maybe even bigger than that.
Joe who? Dining Hall?
Dining Hall. That's what one of the Nebraska coaches call him, Joe Dining Hall.
He weighs 290. He came a couple of years ago to Kansas State from a junior college, was a tailback at the time, and he wasn't much smaller than this.
No, he really wasn't.
If they list him at 290, you know he's got to be over 300. They're always more than they list him at.
And it's not like Joe ate himself out of that tailback spot. As Bob said, he was pretty much that size when he got here.
Yeah. If he fumbles a lot, he'd be a great defensive end.
He would be a good defensive end.
Yeah.
On the shotgun, it'll be the keeper. And a first down run for Roberson. They do that very well out of the shotgun. He picks up 10 yards and a first down. We check in at Times Square Stadium now, and John Saunders.
Right here on the Burger King update, Penn State and Joe Paterno looking for their 4th consecutive victory after losing the first 4 of the season. Bruce Branch, 71 yards on the punt return. They lead the Illini 7-0. Keep this in mind. A win here and getting to 500, and a bowl is well within reach.
That's what Kansas State is thinking as well, John.
Kansas State and Penn State both went through a stretch. Now they're both back. They have confidence.
Here's Sproles taking it on the end around. He's been in motion several times to set up that play. Finally does keep it. He got 4. He's a freshman.
True freshman.
5'7", 170-pound speedster. There's some other scores. Oklahoma sputtered early against A&M. They win again. Texas shuts out Kansas 59-0. Oregon early in that big Pac-10 battle against UCLA. BYU, one of the 3 undefeateds, tied with Wyoming right now. And another timeout taken here by Kansas State. Their second one here in the opening 10 minutes of the ball game.
Now, see, this is not good coordination between the quarterback on the field and the sideline. Getting the play in, the quarterback understanding what you want. Maybe that's the problem. This is the first year starting for L. Roberson. Maybe it's the play getting in a little bit late, but I would have to say that the problem is that with the quarterback and the player on the field.
Bill Snyder in his 13th year, graduate of William Jewell College in Kansas. 103 of the school's 402 all-time wins. They had The 8 coaches before him, it took 8 guys to win as many games as he's won since he showed up from Iowa as the offensive coordinator for Hayden Fry. He's got this team hoping for a 9th straight bowl game, as we were talking about when John got that report about Penn State. They're looking for their 9th straight bowl appearance. Last year, 11-3.
Talk about major turnarounds. Great. Excuse me, go ahead, Brett.
3-time National Coach of the Year. That's pretty good.
8 straight years with 9 wins. 4 straight with 11 wins. So he, you know, with this program before he took it over, they didn't hardly exist.
You had to go back to 1982, the last time they even had an over 500 season before his arrival. Straight up the middle, the fullback to about the 49, Joe Hall again.
Joe Hall, the ball carrier.
And Craig Bull looking on, the defensive coordinator. Done a nice job with this Nebraska defense.
Really has. Took over for Charlie McBride, who was a very popular and a long-time defensive coordinator, 18 years. Charlie's here today. It was good to see him yesterday. And
I saw him down getting on the elevator earlier. I said, man, Charlie, you look good. It's amazing what a little rest can do. He just smiled and said, get to work now.
Yeah, the philosophy hasn't changed that much around here, though.
They're down 3 from the gun. They like to run out of this formation, but it will be a quarterback draw. And not quite. About a yard shy.
Roberson, the ball carrier.
Well, Kansas State has yet to put the ball in the air. This is a quarterback draw, as you mentioned.
Roberson takes it up the gut, but he's about a yard, almost a yard and a half
He
shy.
was a tad late. He was back in the pocket too long. There was a hole there. There was a huge gaping
sold it
hole.
too long, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yep.
You need to get there when the hole is open. You know, it's not going to be open very long against these guys.
Well, they're not going to punt, and we know they're not going to kick. Here they come, 4th down and a long one. They are 50% on the season.
Look at this.
And they set up the old swinging gates. Now they go over to the football. Everybody to the near side, and Roberson has to call their 3rd timeout, and there's a flag down.
Talking about defensive coordinators and all that other stuff as we just were, Nebraska was ready for anything. When they lined up with 1 center over the ball and 10 guys way to the left, Nebraska was ready. When they moved back, the black shirts were ready for that.
Not only did they have that play lined up, it didn't work, but they took a penalty as well.
And Bob and Brad, here's where experience really pays off. You get a guy like Frank Solich, who's been in Nebraska for a number of years, even while he wasn't a head coach. You develop an understanding of how your opponent likes to work, the things that they're capable of. Then you can get your team prepared for this. They probably have seen this maybe 0 times this season, yet they're ready for it the first time it occurs.
Great coaching. 2 back in the punt return setup, awaiting the kick. And is there going to be a halo violation? I think so. Cornelson, who had a touchdown on a punt return last week, is back there. Flags are down. Derek Yates, I think, is the guy that might have been guilty. He's the one that recovered the Kansas State fumble earlier.
Kick catch interference, 5 yards, 1st down.
So Kansas State's penalized again. That's their 4th penalty.
Yeah, you got to give him 6 feet.
He's trying to back out of the way, but he only gave him about 3.
Problem is that when you're fighting a guy coming down, covering the punt, and you're fighting somebody that's blocking you, and the punt is short and the guy's coming up, you don't know where that 6-foot ring is. So the closer he gets to you, the closer. I mean, you're running at him, and you don't. It's not intentional most of the time.
After running a 40-yard